later than usual, but that still doesn't change the fact that it's Saturday! You know what that means. We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. This is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, May 15th, 2021. My oh my. What do we have over here? Where's the posse at? Jess! Jess has made it into the chat. I have missed you, Jess. How are you doing? We got a lot of good people here in the chat. We got Cool King, a.k.a. Rob Wells Jr. We got Cameron Johnson. We got Proud Mixed Child. How you doing, brother? How are you doing? We got a lot of good people here in this chat. Great to see each and every single one of you here. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. We got a lot of material, and I mean a lot of material to talk about. So trust me, you are not going to want to miss a moment of what we got going on right here on the LFU. Why are there only 2 people watching? There's only 2 people watching with 6 likes? My God. That is weak. That's weak, people. You see, that's a little bit of a problem. I'm going to need y'all help. I'm going to need y'all help to boost that number up. We need to boost that number up, all right? We need a lot of people in here because we got a lot of material to dissect, and I mean a lot of material to dissect. The news, rumors, and reports were off the charts this week. I got a shit ton, and I mean a shit ton of news, rumors, and reports to dissect. You are not going to want to miss a moment of that. We got 5 weekly shows to dissect. We got Raw. We got NXT. We got Dynamite. We got Nxt Uk. And, of course, we got Smackdown on Fox. Lots of shit to go over. Lots of shit to dissect. So, we are not going to waste any time here. But first things first, obviously we need to acknowledge the fact that yesterday evening, the wrestling world actually lost one of the most controversial and one of the most influential figures in the wrestling world back during the 90s when WCW and WWE had their war going on. ECW was coming up through the ranks, and everyone was gravitating towards ECW, or at least the hardcore fans, the real hardcore fans were gravitating towards ECW. And one figure that really stuck out the most in ECW was Jerome Young, a.k.a. New Jack, who recently passed away yesterday evening due to, I believe it was a heart attack. I might have saw, correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe it was a heart attack that was the cause of death for Mr. Jerome Young. His wife did confirm it on Facebook. So I do want to send out my thoughts and prayers to the family, the friends, and anyone that had a direct positive relationship with New Jack. He is someone that really was taken from us way too soon. 58. A lot of people look at 58. 58 for me, that's not old. 58 is not old. The way that he was looking, it really looked like he had about 20, 25 years left on this earth. You know, if you could survive ECW, you could survive anything. New Jack, absolutely one of the craziest motherfuckers that you will ever find. A guy that was taken from us way too soon. So my thoughts and prayers go out to the family, the friends, and anyone who was negatively affected by the death of New Jack. all the best towards his family and friends. And I know that everybody here in the chat, everybody in the DJ Storms posse is sending out their thoughts and prayers to New Jack, and we hope that his family and friends will find the energy to make it through this time. He's watching down from us doing crazy ass ECW shit from up above. With that being said, if you have not already done so, please make sure you follow me on the Twitter sticks at HistoryMaker DJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. That is in the description, as well as the link to my Instagram. My Instagram is, of course, at the DJ Storms. Follow me there as well. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. All those links are in the description, so if you have not already checked out those links, please make sure you check them out when you get the free time. Also, one last link that is in the description is, of course, the rundown. Yes, the rundown for WWE WrestleMania Backlash, which, of course, premiered yesterday afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And my number one mod in the chat, of course, is Danielle, XOXO. She made a special guest appearance on the rundown for WrestleMania Backlash, where we dissected all the matches going down tomorrow evening, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time from the Thunderdome in the Yinling Center. So if you guys want to go check that out, please go check that out. The views are actually great. I actually just recently checked the analytics, and we are, I believe, almost at 150 views, and we're almost at 40 likes. So you guys blew that out of the water. This was actually one of my shorter rundowns with Danielle. It didn't even go an hour. It just went under an hour, but the views were great. The likes were fantastic, so you guys absolutely knocked it out of the park. You guys were fantastic. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you who tuned in, but if you did not tune in, if you missed it, please go make sure you go and check out the rundown for WWE WrestleMania Backlash with, of course, Danielle. We dissected everything going down at WrestleMania Backlash. The link is, of course, in the description. How are you, Furious Nation? How are you, Mr. Earl Cole? How are you, Proud Mixed Child? How are you, Brian King? If you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you hit that like button. We got goals we want to reach here on the Lightning Flash update. We are almost 10 minutes into the stream. Like I said, please hit that like button. Charlie sees all. How are you? Please make sure you hit that like button. Hit the like button, people, if you haven't already done so. We want to get to at least 20, 25 likes. Easy peasy. It's not hard whatsoever. So if you guys want to help me out, please make sure you hit that like button as soon as you come in here. It is vital. We got almost 40 likes on the rundown for WrestleMania Backlash with Danielle. Again, links in the description if you missed it. We got almost 40 likes there. I think we can get to at least 25 now. Wouldn't you say so? So if you guys haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that thumbs up when you come into the stream. It helps out the video greatly. I want to grow. I want to expand. I want to get into the eyes of many, many, many individuals. Danielle, if you haven't already followed Danielle and you are not subscribe to Danielle, you can subscribe to her. You can follow her on Twitter. You can follow her on Instagram as well. The links are in the description to the rundown for WrestleMania Backlash. She is fantastic. She is an absolute sweetheart. It was my pleasure to have her on the rundown yesterday afternoon. But please make sure you hit the like button when you come in. We're at 10 likes already. I like it, but we can do a little bit better than just 10 likes, especially considering we got a lot of news and rumors to dissect and talk about, and you are going to want to hear what I got to say. So strap in, people. Now, when you hit the like button, after you hit that like button, you got to make sure you share out the stream on all platforms, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, whatever you may use. You got to make sure you share it out on all platforms, social media. It is vital because that way we can get as many people in here as possible. That way, we can get everyone in the chat dissecting wrestling, talking with DJ Storms, talking amongst yourselves. We want everybody. We want as many people in here as possible, people. I'm talking about your dogs, your cats. I'm doing it backwards, but I don't give a shit. Dogs, cats, your guinea pigs especially. I've read so many articles that guinea pigs, when they are exposed to DJ Storms, they are said to live long, happy, healthy, fruitful lives. DJ Storms is good for the guinea pig's heart. So you got to make sure you send out the link and make sure you get your guinea pigs in here, all right? All right? Your dogs, cats, guinea pigs, your mothers, your fathers, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your sons, your daughters, your cousins, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 9, 10. Everyone wants a piece of DJ Storm, so you got to get everybody in here as possible. You already know I got the Rusev Day shirt because Rusev, a.k.a. Miro, is a new TNT champion. We'll be talking about that when we get to the Dynamite review. Kevin Fiola, how you doing? Thank you for hitting that like button. Everyone, everybody, we got to make sure that we hit that like button. We got 11 likes so far, but we can do better. So I need y'all to share out that stream. Who else? Where's David Maniscalco? Where's Peanuts? Where's Ruben? We need David Maniscalco. We need Peanuts. We need Ruben in here. Let's share out the stream to a few more people. I don't know where Matt Moody is. I'm not sure where TM is, but we need some more people in here. We need a lot more people in here than what we already have. Danielle, I know you have a lot of followers, and I know you have a lot of people that are looking to get a little daily dose of DJ Storm. So if you could, Danielle, please make sure you share out the stream to all the followers that you have. I know that your followers came out to show their support for you yesterday, but they can do it again today because everybody wants a piece of DJ Storms. You already know the drill. Please make sure you follow me on all social media platforms and, of course, hit the subscribe button. That way you can become an official member of the DJ Storms posse. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube because it's the only time that you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me a minute. I didn't forget the comb this time. Danielle, you ain't get me twice. I didn't forget the comb this time. And here we go. A little and a little You already know the drill. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. You already know. It's DJ Storms Day. You already know. You already know, Rob Wells Jr. You already know. Hope you're doing well as well. Anyway, enough of these self-brand promotion, the advertisements. We got a lot of shit to go over. And we are going to start off with the news, rumors, and reports. I will be sure to check the chat after we get done with the news, rumors, and reports because we got a lot. So make sure you are talking amongst yourselves. Make sure you are sharing out that stream because we need more than just 11 likes. I got audio. Do I have the audio? What's going on over here? I'm not sure why I don't have the audio here. Is that better? Is my audio coming in good? Let me know, people. So Danielle says that she has audio. Danielle says that she has the audio. Earl Cole, I think it may be you because my audio's coming in good. My mic seems to be working just fine. I'm looking at my audio mixer. My mic is working just fine. What's going on, Peanuts? How you doing, brother? Thank you for hitting that like button. So Danielle hears me. It seems like it may just be you, Earl. But we're going to get into the news, rumors, and reports. So strap in, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to want to hear what I got to say. We got a lot of shit to dissect. So keep chatting amongst yourselves. Keep on sharing the stream out. Keep on liking. And I am going to start off with the news, rumors, and reports. I got a report. According to Heel by Nature, the WWE has filed a trademark for Bash at the Beach. This is for merchandise purpose. Now, if I was to take a guess as to what this certain merchandising purpose may be, with the new trademark Bash at the Beach, I am going to go with the fact that they could, I'm not saying they will, but they could be possibly looking to hold SummerSlam on a beach. Where that may be, I don't know. Possibly Vegas, possibly Texas. I don't think they're going to do it in Florida because in Florida, the summer heat is just absolutely fucking exhausting. Maybe they might look to hold it somewhere in New York or New Jersey, depending on what they want to do. I don't know. But Bash at the Beach, the one thing that comes to mind with Bash at the Beach is summer, and with WWE, it lines up with SummerSlam. So maybe they might be looking to hold SummerSlam on a beach. I'm not completely sure, although that doesn't really line up with the reports that I recently heard from Mr. Earl Cole. Shout out to him. He actually provided me an update that Madison Square Garden is actually being considered as one of the locations for SummerSlam 2021, which supposedly may be the restart of the touring schedule of WWE in the post-pandemic era. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm not really sure why they would file a trademark for Bash at the Beach. If anything, I wouldn't put it past WWE just to file a trademark for Bash at the Beach just so AEW doesn't use it again. Because they did use it at the beginning of 2020. That worked out pretty well. And from then on, they haven't used it since. So it wouldn't surprise me if WWE just did this just so that way AEW couldn't use it again. Because they filed the trademark for the Hardy Bros, Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy, and they haven't used the Hardy Bros. Matter of fact, the Hardy Bros completely broke up. Matt Riddle's in a tag team with Randy Orton, RK Bro, and Jeff Hardy's losing in 4 minutes to fucking Jinder Mahal, which we'll talk about. Trust me on that. Cool King says, could be a new NXT TakeOver event. You know something? That would not surprise me either, bro. That definitely would not surprise me either. We could very well see an NXT TakeOver event, possibly in August, because we do have In Your House confirmed for June 13th. We could see an NXT event for August called NXT Bash at the Beach. That would not surprise me. So, Rob Wells Jr. actually thinking on his feet there. I'm actually pretty impressed. I wish I would have thought of that. So, good theory there. Good theory there, Mr. Rob Wells Jr. My next report, the big report of the day. Let's talk about the big report of the day. Steve Carrier of Ringside News provided an update on Daniel Bryan's future with the WWE. He tweeted out an article that read, and I quote, Ringside News has asked around about the possibility of Daniel Bryan's return. We were told that it will never be hard to fit him back in where storylines are concerned. We were also told that there is open communication, but no rush from either side from him to ink a new deal. At this point, Daniel Bryan is likely enjoying some well-deserved time off. SummerSlam is going around as a possible return time for Daniel Bryan. That was not confirmed to us as nothing has been worked on yet. Anything is possible in pro wrestling, and Bryan Danielson could always show up at AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view on May 30th. End quote. So that's what's going on with Daniel Bryan. Steve Carrier provided that update earlier on in the week. Daniel Bryan and WWE, they are currently still in open communications for a contract. Daniel Bryan actually was stated to reportedly have shut down the idea of being a full-time backstage writer. Because if you remember, Daniel Bryan was writing for the creative team on SmackDown backstage as well as competing on SmackDown almost every week, if you think about it. So, I don't really know what's going on. I'm not really sure what's going through Daniel Bryan's head. For all we know, Daniel Bryan could very well be taking some time off right now. I don't see Daniel Bryan showing up at Double or Nothing, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. With what Daniel Bryan has been coming out and saying, how he's been depressed a little bit, how he wants to do a part-time schedule, really how he just wants to focus on being a father, considering he's going to be 40. It seems to me as though Daniel Bryan may be taking the summer off from professional wrestling. Now, that's just from what I see. For all we know, Daniel Bryan could do a complete 180 and he could show up at Double or Nothing. For all we know, he could very well sign a new deal. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think we're going to be seeing Daniel Bryan at any point in time throughout the summer, probably until SummerSlam rolls around. I would not bet on seeing Daniel Bryan on television or anywhere until the end of the summer, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Because it really does seem like Daniel Bryan wants to just relax for now and be a father. Now, could he show up? Absolutely. Could he show up in WWE again? Absolutely. He could very well ink a new deal. But we have heard this before, and WWE, they haven't really been the best at negotiating in terms of a part-time deal, if you know what I'm talking about. Realistically, what I've been seeing is Daniel Bryan is really coming to a point in his career where he doesn't really want to be heavily involved in storylines, and he doesn't really want to be heavily involved in week-to-week storylines. He really wants to be involved in a situation where he can work a deal, where he can come back 20 to 30 to maybe 40 dates, and he could just come back for one big match every so often. And I'm not really sure how he would do that. Maybe he does go to New Japan. Maybe he does go to AEW for one big match every so often. I'm not sure. It's a very, 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 very unpredictable scenario with Daniel Bryan, but of course I'm going to keep you guys updated on what's going down with Daniel Bryan. I will be sure to run you guys up to speed on everything Daniel Bryan related. You know for a fact that the dirt sheets are going to be keeping their eye on this really, really closely. They're going to be watching every single fucking move that Daniel Bryan makes, and they are going to be the first to report it whenever something new breaks regarding Daniel Bryan and a contract negotiation, if he does decide to ink a contract at any point in time in the next few months. So I will keep you guys updated on that, but that is what is going on with Daniel Bryan. You can make your own assumptions with that one. Got some news on the Usos. According to WrestlingNews.co, WWE has some big plans for the Usos over the course of the next several months. One part of this will be the Usos winning the Smackdown Tag Team titles. The site wrote, WrestlingNews.co was told that the next several months are mapped out for Reigns and his faction, and the plan is for Jimmy and Jey Uso to win the Smackdown Tag Team titles from a babyface team in the coming months. So, based off of that, it really does look like that Rey and Dominic Mysterio could very well be next in line to hold the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. So do not be surprised if Rey and Dominic Mysterio are to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles tomorrow at WrestleMania Backlash from Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, a.k.a. the Dirty Dogs. And to be quite honest with you, I have no problem with this whatsoever. I don't think anyone has a problem with this. The Usos absolutely should be the next team in line after the Mysterios. If they want to put it on the Mysterios, you give the Mysterios a nice, solid 3-month reign, and then we go into SummerSlam. Roman Reigns clearly is not losing that title at any point in time. He's not losing the title at SummerSlam. If it was against Cesaro, there would have been a little bit more of a chance for him to lose the title, but it's not. They're doing Cesaro now for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. We'll talk about that when we get to the the SmackDown portion of the review. But as far as Jimmy and Jey Uso is concerned, the Usos winning the titles absolutely would be the right decision. Add to Roman Reigns and his faction, add to the character, add to the Tribal Chief gimmick, and we can have a Samoan Dynasty takeover going into the fall. So it does really look like that the Usos could very well be next in line for the SmackDown Tag Team titles as early as SummerSlam of this year. Speaking of SummerSlam, it was confirmed by Mike Johnson of PW Insider that SummerSlam this year has been internally set for August 22nd, 2021. That is a Sunday. We do not know the location. We have a few ideas in mind, possibly Vegas, possibly Texas, possibly California. I don't know. MSG. As Mr. Earl Cole said, that is one of the locations that is being talked about and is being heavily considered for a potential SummerSlam 2021 date. But if we're going to be quite honest with you right here, no matter how great it is that the WWE is finally getting back to live touring, no matter how great it is that the WWE is finally getting live fans back, I don't understand why they didn't just go with live fans back after WrestleMania. I really don't understand why the Thunderdome is still a thing. Well, actually, I do know why the Thunderdome is still a thing. It's because Vince McMahon, he wants to control what he couldn't control. Now that AEW is going back on tour, WWE is going to go back on tour. Even now, after all this time, WWE is still basing their decisions off of AEW. But at the end of the day, no matter how great it is that we're going to get a live audience, no matter how great it may be that we're going to get a live atmosphere, and we're going to get a sense of normality back, and the pandemic era of wrestling is going to end, no matter how great that may be, it's not going to change the fact that 99% of the time, when it comes to pay-per-views, not just SummerSlam, pay-per-views in general, WWE doesn't give a shit. They just throw shit together, and they operate with the mentality of, oh, we're WWE, they're going to watch anyway, we don't have to put any effort into the shows, blah, 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 and the pay-per-view ultimately turns out to be one big disappointment. There's only been one pay-per-view this year, for the main roster at least, that has really delivered in terms of it being a pay-per-view, and that's the Royal Rumble. WrestleMania wasn't completely horrible. We did get some damn good wrestling on WrestleMania, but WWE just kind of threw shit together for WrestleMania and just expected people to watch, and people did watch, and people did show up at WrestleMania because, oh my god, it's the first wrestling event for WWE in God knows how long. It's WrestleMania, and we can finally go out and watch wrestling, blah, 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 and people are dumb enough to spend their money on that shit. WWE takes its audience for a bunch of retards, and more likely than not, the WWE audience, the main core of WWE's audience, excluding me, of course, because I am the most intelligent man in the world, the main core of WWE's audience is a bunch of fucking retards. So WWE operates with, hey, we're WWE, we're gonna get all these people watching, we're gonna get all these people to buy tickets anyway, and that's exactly what happened. So at the end of the day, I don't care when SummerSlam is, I don't care what the location is, all I care about is just put on a decent show. Just give me a reason to care, put out good wrestling, put out good storylines, put out matches that are worthy of being on a pay-per-view. Put out a show, put together a show that's worthy of being called a pay-per-view, worthy of being called SummerSlam. So I don't give a shit where it is, I don't give a shit what day it's held, and I'm pretty sure everyone here is in the same boat. Just put on a decent show. Plain and simple. Speaking of decent shows, SmackDown has had a little, not a lot, because SmackDown without Roman Reigns would be complete dog shit, but SmackDown has had just a little bit of improvement over the course of the last few weeks. We did get a few decent things on SmackDown over the course of the last few weeks. We had some decent wrestling. We had Cesaro coming up through the ranks. Apollo Crews is doing his thing. I love Apollo Crews. I love what he's doing. So we did get some decent material on SmackDown. SmackDown is still a completely skippable show outside of Roman Reigns, but we did get some decent material. According to Ringside News, apparently Triple H has been helping out a lot backstage with SmackDown as of late. The site wrote, and I quote, "A tenured member of the team told us that Paul Levesque has been at SmackDowns lately. It is also now becoming a weekly thing. Triple H has been helping with certain parts of the show, but he's done so discreetly. That being said, it looks like he's helping a lot." End quote. So, Triple H, we did get a SmackDown a couple weeks ago that was actually very good. We did get a very, very good SmackDown a couple weeks ago with Roman Reigns challenging Daniel Bryan to a Universal title match. We did see Apollo defend the title against Kevin Owens. We did see a great tag team match with Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan. Then the following week on SmackDown, we did see Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan in an excellent fucking match for the Universal title. We did see Apollo Crews and Big E, and how the Intercontinental title scene is really starting to come together. We are now seeing a Fatal 4-Way next week, which I would have waited, and I would have done it at the pay-per-view. I don't know why they're doing it next week, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But SmackDown, it has slowly started to come together just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I don't know. I'm not really sure how true this report is, because at the end of the day, Bruce Pritchard has the final say in what's going on with SmackDown. Triple H is probably helping out in certain parts here and there, but in terms of him helping out a lot, I don't think so. There's probably some truth to this, but in terms of overall help, I don't see Triple H having a major say in what goes on SmackDown, especially when you got Bruce Pritchard, which is he's Vince McMahon's #1 testicle tickler. Just saying there. What's going on, Leo? How are you? Thank you for joining. My next report. Now, this actually came as a little bit of a shock, and I actually got a lot to say about this one. Fightful reported that Zelina Vega was spotted at the WWE PC. It was said she was there to film something, which sparked up speculation that her return to WWE could be imminent. Now, if you guys remember, Zelina Vega was released. She was released back in November of 2020. She was released after WWE laid down the hammer and said that they could not have any third-party platforms. No wrestlers could have any third-party platforms. And what did Zelina Vega do? She continued to stream on Twitch. She then opened up an OnlyFans, and she was made an example out of, and Vince McMahon fired her. So now she's on her way back. And at first I was like, this really doesn't make any sense. This really doesn't resonate with me. I don't understand why Zelina Vega would go back to the WWE after what they did to her and how piss poor they treated her. But then a report came out a day or two after the Fightful report came out about Zelina. And a report came out from Ringside News a couple days after this. I believe it was maybe on Thursday. And the report from Ringside News had a headline that read, and I quote, AEW is in talks with Andrade. And I had this theory going on in my head, and when I saw that report, my theory was all but confirmed. Now, we don't know how long WWE has been in conversations with Zelina Vega about a return, but you cannot put it past WWE to have seen what went down a few weeks ago when Andrade came out and he challenged Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega Championship in July. Andrade came out, he resurfaced after being released, and he came out and challenged Kenny Omega. And you have to imagine, WWE probably saw that and thought to themselves, oh shit, Kenny Omega, he's the AAA Mega Champion. Andrade just challenged him. Could that be a gateway for Tony Khan to get Andrade into AEW? And with that, WWE probably had it in their mind that if Tony Khan was going to go after Andrade, he was going to go after Thea Trinidad, a.k.a. Zelina Vega, bring her on into AEW, and her and Andrade are going to meet, and they're going to reunite, and they're going to recreate what they did in NXT, and what they could have done on the main roster, but the WWE didn't allow them to. Maybe he would have paired Zelina Vega and Andrade up with the Lucha Bros. Maybe we could have gotten a Latino World Order style takeover. I don't know. But you have to imagine that WWE thought that if AEW was going to go after Andrade challenged Omega, that could have been the bridge to bring Andrade into AEW. They were going to go after Thea Trinidad, aka Selena Vega, as well. It's very, very coincidental that just a few short weeks after Andrade went out of his way to challenge Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega Championship, it's very coincidental that now a report came out stating that Zelina Vega was at the PC to film something and she's on her way back to the WWE potentially. And if so, what do they do with her? What do they do with her? I would not have put it past WWE to have Lord Zelina Vega back in, and they probably used the fact that they still have her husband employed. Hey, come on back to the WWE. We'll offer you a nice hefty amount of money. And you know what? Maybe we can pair you with your husband because your husband's still employed. So you can come in. You can be working with your husband, Aleister Black, right here. And they lured Zelina Vega in like a moth to the flame just to try and sign her to keep her away from Andrade. I would not put it past WWE to have gone out of their way to lure Zelina Vega back in just to give her a sense of false hope. Hey, you'll be with your husband again. You could work with your husband. We'll do this. We'll do that. And then they'll go back on their word within a few months of her being re-signed with the WWE. They lured Zelina Vega back in just to keep her away from AEW and Andrade. Because Vince McMahon did not want Tony Khan to recreate what was created in NXT with Zelina Vega and Andrade, because then Zelina Vega and Andrade would have success over in AEW, and then they would shove it right back in Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard's face. And if so, you got Zelina Vega now coming back. What does she do? There's only two things that she can do. Number one, manage Aleister Black, or two, manage Angel Garza. Because she was managing Angel Garza before she broke out and did her own thing as a professional wrestler. And I'm sorry, whether you want to admit it or not, Zelina Vega, she's not a good wrestler. There are way too many people who are ahead of her. Bianca Belair is ahead of her. Asuka's ahead of her. Charlotte Flair. Becky's going to be coming back. Io Shirai is going to be coming up to the main roster. Carmella's even ahead of her. All these women are ahead of Zelina Vega. So where's there going to be room for Zelina Vega in the women's division? She's not going to be a women's champion. Unless she's managing Aleister Black or managing Angel Garza, WWE is just signing her for the sake of signing her to keep her away from Andrade. And whether you want to admit it or not, you can't put it past WWE to do that. You can't. Because they're petty. WWE is the most petty company, the most petty business in the world right now. This is the same company that had Nikki Bella break AJ Lee's record out of pettiness because AJ Lee is married to CM Punk, Phil Brooks. This is the same company that broke Demolition's record with the New Day because Demolition was going through a lawsuit with WWE at the time. WWE is petty. WWE is petty. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's the exact reason why WWE went out of their way to re-sign Zelina Vega. But that's pretty much what's going on. Zelina Vega could be on her way back to the WWE. That's pretty much the theory that I've conjured up. Let me know what you guys think there. Next report. According to Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com, Velveteen Dream, yes, Velveteen Dream was backstage at Monday Night Raw this past Monday. Meltzer wrote, and I quote, "Velveteen Dream is backstage at Raw. No idea if he's there for the show, but he hasn't been around of late." Velveteen Dream did not appear on the show, but it was reported that he was backstage at the show. For whatever reason, I don't know. Could we be in store for a main roster debut on Monday Night Raw? Could we possibly see the Velveteen Dream on Monday Night Raw in a major role? I don't know. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with why the fans may hate the Velveteen Dream, there were allegations that Velveteen Dream might have been a sexual predator, and certain videos surfaced showing private Instagram DMs between Velveteen Dream and teenagers. Voiceovers from Velveteen Dream asking, what school do you go to? And this came out during the Speaking Out movement all the way back in June of 2020. Now, Velveteen Dream has not been seen on television since the end of 2020, where he lost a match to Adam Cole in the main event of NXT. And that was the last time that we saw Velveteen Dream on television. We have not seen Velveteen Dream since then. Matter of fact, Velveteen Dream has pretty much been MIA. Now, I know a lot of people are wondering what's going on with Velveteen Dream. How could Velveteen Dream still be employed? Here's what I'm thinking right now. Here's something you need to take into consideration. I understand your concerns, and I understand why you may think that he did what he did, but here's something that I'm trying to figure out. Normally, with everything that lined up, I would say, yeah, he did it and he deserves to be fired and all that, and WWE should just cut ties with him, but you need to think about this for a minute. Yes, WWE has done some dastardly things in the past, and they have protected a lot of shitty people in the past. Don't get me wrong, but here's something that you need to think about. Would the final decision to keep Velveteen Dream hired, would that be on Triple H or would that be on Vince McMahon? If you're asking me, it would be on Vince McMahon. No matter how big of a fan Triple H may be of a certain NXT superstar, the final determination to let someone go would be Vince McMahon, and he would terminate him like that. So at the end of the day, in my eyes, Vince McMahon, there's no way in hell that Vince McMahon would go out of his way to protect someone like Patrick Clark. When has Vince McMahon ever gone out of his way to protect someone like Velveteen Dream, an NXT talent? Vince McMahon has pretty much told you, without actually telling you, that he fucking hates NXT. Vince McMahon has come out and pretty much told you through his actions on the main roster that he doesn't value NXT. Why? Because his son-in-law is doing his job better than him. Vince McMahon openly looks to kill everything NXT related. Look at what he did to Keith Lee. Look at what he did to Matt Riddle. Look at what he did to Dominik Dijakovic. Look at what he did to Andrade. Look at what he did to Angel Garza, the Vaudevillains, Enzo and Cass, Ember Moon, Shayna Baszler. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Vince McMahon couldn't give a single shit about NXT. So why would he go out of his way to protect someone like a Patrick Clark unless he really likes Patrick Clark? And when has he ever shown favoritism towards someone like a Patrick Clark? He's not a Roman Reigns. He's not Charlotte Flair. He's not Randy Orton. Those three people are three people backstage that Vince McMahon would bend over backwards for. Those are three people that Vince McMahon would fucking die for. Those are three individuals who are wrestling royalty. Vince McMahon treats them as if his life depends on it. Do you see that with Vince McMahon and Velveteen Dream? I sure as hell don't. So the final decision would be Vince McMahon releasing Velveteen Dream if these allegations were legitimately true. WWE is a publicly traded company. No matter how shitty it may be, no matter how shitty they have proven to be in the past, has WWE, they're a publicly traded company, and they would not be associating with a sexual predator like that. They wouldn't. It's bad for public image. And WWE has done everything that they can to keep their public image great. Even though we all know that the public image is not good for WWE because so many wrestlers come in and say how they're mistreated and how Vince McMahon's an asshole, this and that. But when it comes to shit like this, if the allegations were legitimately true, Vince McMahon would not hesitate to cut ties with someone like a Patrick Clark. He couldn't give a shit about Patrick Clark. Again, he's not Randy Orton, he's not Charlotte Flair, he's not Roman Reigns. Those are individuals that Vince McMahon would die for. Patrick Clark's not one of them. Something is up that we're not hearing about. Something has been said backstage. Something something is going down that has not been made public. And to be quite honest with you, it really honestly feels like he may have been set up, Velveteen Dream. He may have been set up because of what? Jealousy or envy, or he's just not liked, or people don't like the gimmick. He could very well have been set up. I am not sure. But something is up. Something is being kept on the down low that we have not heard about. Something's being kept on the down low that we have not heard about, and it honestly wouldn't surprise me if they're keeping Velveteen Dream off of television, specifically because of the fact that they're just waiting for this shit to dial down, even though they know that it's probably never going to dial down. Velveteen Dream is going to live with that shit his entire career. Velveteen Dream's going to live with that shit his entire career, no matter what. And it's quite sad. It's quite sad, to be quite honest with you. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. But we are going to move on from that. We're going to move on from that, and we are going to talk about an injury report from AEW. And it was confirmed that Ricky Starks is actually on the sidelines with an injury. It was reported by multiple sources, including Dave Meltzer and Voices of Wrestling, that he is out with a fractured neck. He sustained this injury while wrestling Adam Hangman Page a few weeks back on Dynamite. It is said that he'll be out of action for 3 months, but the doctors believe he will recover just fine without the requirement of surgery. So that is very, very good for Ricky Starks. God bless Ricky Starks. I'm glad that he's okay. I'm very, very happy that Ricky Starks is not out for very, very long, and he does not require surgery. I am happy that he could very well still be able to appear on television in some capacity. So that's good. At least he's not going to lose his spot on television. So anyone who's worried about Ricky Starks, he is not going to require surgery, and he's still going to be on television in some capacity. And my final report before we get into the weekly show reviews, Dave Meltzer actually provided an update on Humberto Carrillo after the botch on Raw. If you saw this past Monday, Humberto Carrillo did a sunset flip powerbomb to the floor, and Sheamus came down hard on Humberto's knee. The ref actually stopped the match. Sheamus was awarded the match. Apparently, Humberto is okay. Dave Meltzer stated, and I quote, "Humberto Carrillo is okay. If he needed to wrestle tomorrow, he could. They may still do an injury angle with it, but they may not. But he's fine. That was not the planned finish." End quote. So, anyone who is worried about Humberto and the scare that happened on Monday, Humberto Carrillo is indeed okay. Humberto Carrillo is going to be just fine, and he will be able to wrestle whenever they need him to. So that's what's going on. We'll talk about Humberto when we get to the Raw portion of the review, where we talk about Humberto and Sheamus, and we're actually going to get to the Raw portion of the review in a little bit. But those are your news, rumors, and reports, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let's check the chat. We got 23 likes. 23 likes. You guys are fantastic. You guys are awesome. And don't worry, rant mode's going to be coming, because we're talking about Raw next. So rant mode's going to be coming, people. Okay? Rant mode's going to be coming. Well, we got Prod McChild. We got Adam Carl in the chat. We got Danielle. We got Leo. How are you? We got Jofo in the ring. Thank you for stopping by, Jofo. We got David Maniscalco. Rob Wells Jr. still in the chat. I hope you are doing well. Lots of people here in the chat. We got 11 concurrent viewers. Guys, please make sure you continue to share out the stream, because we are almost an hour into the stream. We got plenty of time left, and we are going to jump right in to Monday Night Raw. And my oh my, do I have a lot to say about Monday Night Raw. And it's not good shit. It's not good shit. Vince McMahon wants to believe it's good shit, but it ain't good shit, pal. It ain't good shit. Just letting you know. So here's what I want y'all to do. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to share out the stream. Look at that. We got another like. Look at that. We got another like. You guys are fantastic. I am very, very grateful and very, very thankful for each and every single one of you. Thank you for hitting that like button. Whoever just decided to stop by, please make sure you share out the stream on all platforms, social media. Keep on hitting that like button. We got plenty of material to go over, and we're going to get straight into the Monday Night Raw review. And Danielle, I'm going to be ranting, so strap in. Strap in. Monday Night Raw. Everybody's favorite show, Monday Night Raw. Rob Wells Jr., you took the words right out of my mouth. Raw is dumpster shit. Absolute dumpster shit. So, Raw started off with Asuka, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke taking on Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Charlotte Flair. And if you guys don't already know, I mean, what better way to start off the Raw review than pointing out that we live by a code here. We live by a code. Right here on the channel, we live by a code, and that code, of course, is fuck Charlotte Flair. Fuck Charlotte Flair. And all of her supporters. That's the code. That's the code. You guys don't already know. I would like to get a fuck Charlotte Flair in the chat, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please and thank you. Fuck Charlotte Flair. So this is a 6-woman tag team match. Midway through the match, out of nowhere, we had Alexa Bliss. We had Alexa Bliss on the stage. She was swinging back and forth with Lily on the other swing. And the Firefly Funhouse jingle was playing in the background. Everyone stopped, looked at Alexa Bliss. She said, Lily and I wanted to come out to keep our eye on someone. She was laughing. And apparently Alexa Bliss is now targeting someone in the Raw Women's Division. Now, by process of elimination, it's not Nia Jax, it's not Shayna Baszler, it's not Mandy Rose, and it's not Dana Brooke, because all of those four are in a tag team. I hope that Shayna Baszler is not going to be in a tag team for very long, but as of right now, all of those individuals are in a tag team. So, we pretty much narrowed it down to either Charlotte Flair or Asuka. And based on that, it looks like what we could be looking at is Alexa Bliss potentially inserting herself into the Raw Women's Championship Triple Threat match tomorrow at WrestleMania Backlash. Who she attacks, I don't know. But if I'm going to pick an individual, I'm going to go with Asuka. I'm going to go with Asuka, considering that Charlotte Flair, she's got this, be fair to Flair, I am the opportunity, I'm getting screwed over, blah, blah, blah. She's got this bullshit storyline going on where she wants the opportunity and she's getting screwed over and we gotta be fair to Flair. How about fuck Charlotte Flair? But she's got this own storyline going on. It wouldn't surprise me, it would not surprise me if Alexa Bliss gets involved on Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. She attacks Asuka, causing Ripley to retain the championship, and then we get Charlotte Flair versus Ria Ripley at Money in the Bank. We get Charlotte Flair versus Ria Ripley at Money in the Bank. Would not surprise me. Would not surprise me. So, Shayna started having problems with her leg, and it's like Alexa Bliss was causing Shayna Baszler to have problems with her leg, and she was using her voodoo satanic powers on Shayna Baszler, which caused Asuka to get the tag. She hit a Shining Wizard on Baszler to win the match, and afterwards, Flair booted Asuka in the face as Lily and Alexa both collectively laughed, And that was that. So Asuka gets the win for her team. Shayna Baszler continues to be a glorified enhancement talent. And Alexa Bliss is apparently either targeting Charlotte Flair or Asuka. And I swear to God, if this is the best that you got for Asuka, man, Asuka may as well walk. Asuka needs to walk. Shayna needs to walk. We had Batista. Batista went out of his way to call out WWE on the bad booking of Asuka. Now, Batista's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking libtard. But, man, Batista even knows. Batista even knows. Fucking terrible. So, Alexa Bliss, I absolutely expect her to get involved in the Raw Women's title match tomorrow night at WrestleMania Backlash in some way, shape, or form. And I expect her to target Asuka. I expect her to target Asuka, freeing up Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley to fight in a one-on-one match. And that's not even the worst part of it. That's not even the worst part of it. Trust me, we'll talk about the worst part of it very, very soon. Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say about Jinder Mahal? He's got new friends that are not the Singh brothers. We got Jinder Mahal taking on Jeff Hardy, and he's got new friends. They're called Veer and Shanky. Veer and Shanky. Here's what I want to know. Well, I'll get to Jinder Mahal in a little bit. Who the fuck is coming up with these names? Who's coming up with these names? We got Veer, we got Shanky, we got Slapjack, we got T-Bar, we got Mace. Who's coming up with these names? Seriously. Who in creative thought that Jinder Mahal would look more legit and he would feel more intimidating? He would feel more legitimate by adding two guys that aren't the Bollywood boys, and their names are Veer and Shanky. I'd love to know. Please, if anyone can figure out who decided to give Jinder Mahal these two individuals, I'd love to know. This match went 4 minutes. Jinder Mahal wins with a Colossus. Jinder Mahal wins with a Colossus. Oh, and by the way, Veer and Shanky did not get involved. Jinder won clean. Jinder won clean. If I was Jeff Hardy, I would walk. Jeff Hardy has been absolutely devalued to a point where no one is going to give a shit about Jeff Hardy. This guy should be in the U.S. title picture. This guy should be in the WWE Championship title picture. You could have built towards Jeff Hardy versus Drew McIntyre in a WWE Championship program after SummerSlam, but instead, you have him losing in less than 4 minutes to Jinder Mahal. And yet there's some people that are actually coming out in support of Jinder Mahal. Have you seen Jinder Mahal wrestle? The guy wrestles as if he's Frankenstein. He wrestles as if he's a mini-me of the great Khali. He wrestles as stiff as a cock after Viagra. I have never seen someone wrestle so stiff. It's like I'm watching the male version of Nikki Bella. And you do not want to be compared to Nikki Bella in any way, shape, or form. Any way, shape, or form. Jinder Mahal is a terrible professional wrestler. He does not know how to sell. He does not know how to take a bump. He does not know how to move. He does not know how to do anything. People want to come out and say, oh, Jinder Mahal's an old school heel. But what's the difference? Here's what I want to do. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but what's the difference between Jinder Mahal and someone like an MJF or a Jay White? because they're considered old school heels. The difference is, excluding their characters, let's take away their characters. Let's focus on in-ring work. What's the difference between Jinder Mahal and MJF and Jay White? MJF and Jay White, they're loose in the ring. They're fluid in the ring. They know how to take a bump. They know how to make their opponents look good. They're very, very, very fluid with their movements in the ring, whether it be their selling, whether it be their execution. They're very, very fluid, and they know what they're doing in the ring. It looks like Jinder Mahal is legitimately afraid to take a bump. It's legitimately like I'm watching the male version of Nikki Bella. Jinder Mahal is a terrible pro wrestler. And to be quite honest with you, with how terrible he really is, I would not be surprised if WWE goes ahead and pushes him directly to the Money in the Bank briefcase. Why? Because there's no clear-cut winner for the men in terms of who's going to win that briefcase. I do not see a clear-cut winner. Maybe Damian Priest, but I would much rather him go for Sheamus in the United States Championship. But based on what we have going on right here, we could be looking at Jinder Mahal winning fucking Money in the Bank. They were saying that how he's a former WWE champion, this and that and this and that. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what this company thinks of you when you lose to Jinder Mahal clean. There was no outside interference. Jeff lost to Jinder clean. Jeff Hardy should walk. We got the New Day and RK Bro versus Elias, Jackson Ryker, AJ, and Omos. This was a standard six-man tag. No one gave a shit. Coming back from commercial, Styles was being dragged around the outside by his legs by the New Day. This is what you've reduced AJ Styles to. Omos went out to try and go after the New Day. Orton hit an RKO to Elias. Randy then RKO'd Kofi and Woods after the match. Riddle smiled and laughed as Orton walked away. Who gives a shit? I didn't give a shit. I don't think you gave a shit. The only thing that really mattered here is the fact that RK Bro is still undefeated, and RK Bro are going to win the tag team titles sooner rather than later. Sonya Deville, she met with Asuka and Ria Ripley. She told them that they will go one-on-one. Rhea talked about how she saw Charlotte in her office. They exchanged a few more words and they left. That was pretty much that. These fucking promos are fucking terrible. These fucking promos are terrible. Again, I will state, whoever is scripting these promos, whoever is scripting, and I'm not, this doesn't just have to do with Asuka and Rhea. This has to do with the entire women's division. It's even seeping its way into SmackDown, and we'll talk about that when we get to the SmackDown portion of the review. Humberto Carrillo versus Sheamus. Sheamus was in control. Humberto tried to fight back. He had a Frankensteiner from the middle rope. He went for a sunset flip powerbomb on the floor, and this bump looked nasty. Sheamus landed right on Humberto's knee, and the ref called for the bell. And Carrillo, I wasn't sure how badly he was injured, but he was legitimately hurt. Sheamus was awarded the match. It did not look good whatsoever. But Meltzer's reporting that Humberto's okay. So it looks like that Humberto and Sheamus are going to continue their feud. Not really sure when that's going to be. But to be quite honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if Humberto and Sheamus gets confirmed for the WrestleMania Backlash pre-show. So Humberto and Sheamus, they are clearly not done. I'm glad that Humberto's okay and he can still wrestle. Because again, I would not wish injury upon anyone. We had a promo package for the Lucha House Party. Are they going to push them? I doubt it. But we had a promo package for the Lucha House Party. Could we be looking at the Lucha House Party potentially fighting AJ and Omos? I doubt it. I don't know what's going to happen there, but Lucha House Party got a little promo package. Good for them. Good for them. Speaking of a promo package, we had not one, but two, that's right, two Eva Marie promo packages. Now, I don't know what's going to happen here, but Listen, we don't know what Eva Marie is going to be doing. We don't know what she's going to be doing. We don't know whether she's going to be wrestling. We don't know if she's going to be managing. We don't know if she's going to be a valet. We don't know if she's going to be leading a faction. We don't know if she's going to be commentating. We don't know if she's going to be ring announcing. We don't know. We don't know what's going on with Eva Marie. At this rate, it's all a matter of waiting. It's just a waiting game to see what they're going to do with Eva Marie. But based on WWE's track record, we are conditioned to expect the worst. We're conditioned to expect the worst with Eva Marie, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. I am expecting the absolute worst with Eva Marie. And I'm going to tell you the same thing that I said last week. I am expecting one of two things happening with Eva Marie. Because again, this is WWE, and the WWE has conditioned us, especially over the course of the last decade, to expect the worst. I am expecting one of two things. Number one, Eva Marie is going to come back, and upon arrival, she is going to be immediately thrusted into the Raw Women's title picture if, and this is a big if Ria Ripley manages to make it past Charlotte Flair. If Ria Ripley manages to make it past Charlotte Flair. Now, I don't expect her to. I don't expect her to whatsoever. I expect Charlotte Flair to win the championship, but by some miraculous turn of events that Eva Marie is brought back to television and Ria Ripley makes it past Charlotte, I would not be surprised if Eva Marie gets thrusted into an immediate title picture with Ria Ripley. Why? Because who else do they have? Who else are they pushing on Raw in the women's division as a singles competitor outside of Rhea, Asuka, and Charlotte? Nobody. And don't say Alexa Bliss, because Alexa Bliss, she hasn't even had a fucking match. She hasn't even had a fucking match. Three women that they're pushing in a singles capacity. If Rhea Ripley manages to make it past Charlotte Flair, who else is there? I wouldn't be surprised if they do Eva Marie versus Rhea Ripley at the next pay-per-view if Rhea Ripley makes it past Charlotte. It's either that or number two, and to be quite honest with you, this is the worst of the two, and when it's the worst of the two, you know that WWE's immediately going to go for it. And I don't want to give anyone nightmares. I really don't. I don't want to give anyone nightmares, but listen to this. We pretty much have it dead set in our minds already that Charlotte's going to win the title. Whether it be tomorrow or whether it be at Money in the Bank, Charlotte Flair is going to get that title at some point between now and SummerSlam. Charlotte Flair is going to get that title at some point between now and SummerSlam, whether we like it or not. And we pretty much have that dead set in our minds. I would not put it past WWE to put Eva Marie in the Money in the Bank ladder match for the women, considering that there's no clear-cut women for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match either. There's no clear-cut winner there either. And they put Eva Marie in there, and they have Eva Marie win the briefcase. Why? Because Charlotte, we pretty much have it dead set in our minds that Charlotte is going to win the Raw Women's title, and Charlotte is just so openly despised. She is just so openly despised by the wrestling community, and rightfully so, to a point where the majority of people aren't going to give a shit when she loses the title, or how she loses the title, or who she loses the title to. We just want that title off of Charlotte Flair. Is this WWE's grand scheme to get Eva Marie cheered as a conquering babyface? Because there was a report that Dave Meltzer came out and said that Eva Marie is going to return as a babyface. Is this WWE's grand scheme to put Eva Marie in the Money in the Bank ladder match, have her win, and Charlotte is the Raw Women's Champion? Everyone just wants Charlotte Flair to lose the championship to a point where we don't care who takes it off of her. We'll cheer a fucking old hag taking the title off of Charlotte Flair. An 80-year-old hag taking the title off of Charlotte Flair, and we'll cheer her. Charlotte Flair is just so openly despised that you could legitimately put me in the ring with Charlotte Flair, and people will cheer me. So I would not put it past WWE to have this as some type of grand scheme, their big plan to get Eva Marie cheered as a babyface by her cashing in the Money in the Bank contract and beating Charlotte Flair to become the Raw Women's Champion. We are in for a long, nauseating, egregious summer if that's the case. I don't mean to give you nightmares, but I would not put it past WWE to do that. Giving Charlotte Flair the Raw Women's title only to give Eva Marie the Money in the Bank contract to try and get Eva Marie over as a babyface. God fucking help us all. God help us all. Moving on, we had Cedric Alexander versus Shelton Benjamin. This went about 4 minutes. Shelton Benjamin wins with the T-Bone suplex. Did it mean anything? No. All this match did was prove to you that Vince McMahon hates Cedric more so than he hates Shelton Benjamin. And now both of these individuals are going to be stuck in catering until their contracts expire. Why they even broke this team up, why they kicked them out of the Hurt Business, I don't fucking know. Asuka versus Ria Ripley. Charlotte came out midway through the match as Asuka tried to take over. Asuka hit the Shining Wizard for a 2. We had a Northern Lights suplex by Ria Ripley for a 2. Asuka with a code breaker for a 2. Asuka with a hip attack to Rhea off the table. We had a missile dropkick for a 2. Rhea Ripley hit the Riptide for the win, and that was pretty much it. And we've pretty much got it all but confirmed that Charlotte Flair is walking out of WrestleMania Backlash tomorrow as the Raw Women's Champion. Damian Priest versus John Morrison, a.k.a. Johnny Drip Drip. Forgiveness ain't good for dripness. My fucking God, just kill me already. So we got Damian Priest versus The Miz at WrestleMania Backlash. Now the winner of this match between Morrison and Priest would get to pick the stipulation for Priest versus Miz at Backlash. Match wasn't necessarily terrible, but we've seen it already, and John Morrison is nothing more than a glorified enhancement talent. The Miz, now this is the most important thing. The Miz tried to cause a distraction, but Morrison had Priest beat, so Miz distracted the ref at an inopportune time. This was the second week in a row that this happened. Damian Priest got the hit the lights, and Priest won the match. Miz then attacked Priest. Priest fought back. Miz then ran off, and then we had another hit the lights on Morrison. Priest stood tall, and then Priest was in the back with Adam Pearce, and he picked a lumberjack match for his match with The Miz at WrestleMania Backlash. 2 things here. Number 1, I don't give a shit who the fuck wins at this rate. I don't give a shit if Miz or Priest. I don't give a shit what the fuck happens tomorrow at WrestleMania Backlash. All I give a shit about is that it's over. That's all I give a shit about. Just fucking end this program. This has been going on since the Royal Rumble. This should have ended at WrestleMania, but you elected to continue it all the way into WrestleMania fucking Backlash. This is it. I don't give a shit. It's over. It's over. It's done. That's number 1. And number 2, I'm not sure if they're going to continue this, but if what's going on with The Miz and Morrison and the miscommunication and the fact that Miz inadvertently cost John Morrison, if this is leading to John Morrison breaking away from The Miz, if this is leading to Morrison breaking away from The Miz and Morrison go their separate ways, Miz does his own thing, Morrison does his own thing, and we're done with this hey, hey, ho, ho comedy shit and this Johnny Drip Drip shit, if that means that this is over, I am all for it. I am all for it. Please, get Damian Priest away from Miz and Morrison and get Morrison away from The Miz. It has gone on long enough. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. This was a complete waste of time. Drew hit the Claymore. Drew hit the Claymore kick later on in the match. I'm not even going over what happened in the match. Drew hit the Claymore kick. And Strowman's music hit. And like a dumbass, like a Braun Strowman, like a ha, Braun Strowman, I don't like you, MVP. I'm gonna be the WWE champion. I don't answer to nobody, because I'm Braun Strowman, man. I'm Braun Strowman, and I'm gonna get in my big green tractor, and I'm gonna drive around Hicktown, USA, because I want to be the WWE champion. Braun Strowman, you got Drew McIntyre acting as dumb as Braun Strowman, looking at the fucking rampway, waiting for Strowman to come out. Strowman comes up from behind Drew. Strowman attacks Drew. He attacks Lashley. He power slams Lashley through the barricade and power slams Drew in the ring. He stood tall, and once again, like I stated, for God knows how long, I've been stating this for weeks, Strowman is in this match to take the pin and to take the pin only. Whether it be Drew or whether it be Lashley, Strowman is losing this match. He is going to take the pin. Then, whether Drew or Lashley wins, Drew or Lashley is going to come out the next night, and they're going to say, oh, well, you didn't pin me, therefore I'm coming for a rematch. And we're going to get a 5-week build towards Money in the Bank. We're going to get Drew and Lashley again for God knows how long. I can't even do it. I can't do it. I can't. I really can't do it anymore. I really can't do it. Cannot do this shit anymore. This show sucks. Main event scene on Raw sucks. Raw sucks. Strowman sucks. Miz sucks. Charlotte Flair sucks. WWE sucks. This company sucks. That's your Monday Night Raw review. We still got 4 more shows to go over. Let us check the chat. Here. We got Furious Nation saying Eva Marie sucks. Proud Mixed Child. Thank you for sticking with me throughout the video, Mr. Proud Mixed Child. Danielle obviously loved my Braun Strowman impersonation. I'm going to get my big green tractor in my pickup truck. And I'm going to listen to some Backstreet Boys. And I'm going to be the WWE champion because I don't listen to anybody. I really don't like you, MVP. Thank you guys for sticking with me. We still got plenty more to go over. Plenty more to go over, ladies and gents. Yes, Danielle, The Miz is your boy. Danielle loves The Miz, man. She loves The Miz. Danielle and The Miz sitting in a tree, a KISSING. Trust me, Danielle. We're going to have a good time for the rest of the stream. We're going to talk about some NXT. NXT this week was decent. A decent show, not horrible. But NXT, obviously, still not what we know and love from NXT. Still not what we know and love from NXT, and it's quite sad. It is quite sad because NXT right now is in such a state of I'm trying to figure out the right word. It's not in a state of disarray, but it's just so generic. There's just no energy behind it. There's so fucking generic, and it's becoming extremely hard for anyone to really invest in NXT. And we got NXT TakeOver in Your House coming up on June 13th. NXT has just kind of been there. It hasn't necessarily been terrible. It's still the best brand out of all 3 of the brands that WWE has to offer, but it just feels like it's just there. Show wasn't a bad show whatsoever, but there's just no energy. There's just no sense of urgency. It's becoming very, very depressing to watch. It really is. And it has to do with the fact that, I've said it before, Vince McMahon, his influence over NXT from last year is still being felt this year Number 2, Vince McMahon purged all this talent from NXT. He purged Priest, he purged Lee, Riddle, Dijakovic, and the main event scene is just depleted. The main event scene on NXT is fucking depleted, especially with Karrion Kross as NXT champion. And number 3, this laziness mentality of we're WWE and we're making all this money, it's starting to seep into NXT, where we'll get great takeovers, but the weekly programming, there's just nothing that's engaging about it, and that sucks. It's sad. It really is sad. So NXT kicked off with Austin Theory. Look at that. We got one of my friends from Florida, Deborah. How about that? You got a round to drop a like, show some love. I hope work is going well for you. I'll be sure to talk to you later on tonight. Pride Mixed Child, I'm telling you, NXT, it's just lackluster. It's not a bad show, but it's there's no energy. It's just there. NXT is just there. It's just a show. Still the best show that WWE has, but it's just there. So we kicked off with Austin Theory versus Karrion Kross. That started the show. Austin Theory tried to use his quickness, but Kross did not seem fazed. Kross kept the aggression on Theory before Theory raked the eyes. Theory then sent Kross into the barricade. We had a DDT on the floor. Kross was then sent shoulder first into the post. Rolled through drop kick by Theory. Theory with a very impressive fall away slam. And he got Karrion Kross up. Kross is no small guy. Kross is a big dude. Theory got him up. That was impressive. Kross was back up immediately. He hit 2 Doomsday Saitos. Kross then with a forearm to the back of the head. And the cross jacket. And the referee calls for the bell. Not really sure if they're teasing Gargano versus Karrion Kross. Although I don't see how that would make sense. Because Gargano is the North American champion. Realistically, the only guy right now that's built up enough to face Kross at TakeOver in Your House would be Kyle O'Reilly. He beat Adam Cole. He beat Oni Lorcan. He beat Cameron Grimes. So Kyle O'Reilly's on a consistent winning streak. He's the guy with the most momentum. So realistically speaking, Kyle O'Reilly is the guy to face off against Karrion Kross. It would make no sense for anyone else to. Balor then appeared behind Kross, and he said, "I don't wait in lines. I want my rematch." Kross said, "I want it just as bad as you. Let's do this." Balor said, "Done," and then he walked away. So in 2 weeks, it was confirmed that we are getting Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor in a rematch from TakeOver Stand and Deliver for the NXT Championship. This is Kross's first title defense. And no matter how good this match may be, no matter what happens, nobody is taking that title off of Kross. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Everybody on the roster are mere chew toys. Everyone on the roster is a meal for Karrion Kross to feast on before we eventually get to Parker Bowdor. Diamond Mine is going to be Parker Bowdor. Parker Bowdor is the only one with the size to match Karrion Kross. And now we have to see if he can match Karrion Kross in terms of character work and in-ring ability. But as we speak, Parker Bowdor is the only guy. Parker Bowdor is the only guy that is legitimate enough, and he hasn't even debuted yet. He's the only guy. Nobody on that roster, and I'm not going based off of size, nobody on that roster is legitimately built up enough to take that title off of Kross. Nobody. Not O'Reilly, not Dunn, not Balor, not Cole, not Gargano, not Theory. Nobody. Nobody. And that's why I said that Karrion Kross shouldn't have even been the NXT champion. Karrion Kross should have either lost to the Demon at TakeOver, or we should have gotten a fatal 4-way with O'Reilly, Cole, Balor, and Kross, where O'Reilly would have won the title by pinning Cole, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Kross would have remained strong. He wouldn't have had to take the pin. And then we would have gotten O'Reilly and Balor continuing their program going into the spring of 2021, but that didn't happen. Now, did it? You elected to give Karrion Kross the NXT Championship when you got absolutely no one that's going to take the title off of him within the next few months. Everyone on the roster is a meal for Cross to feast on. He's going to beat Balor, and then he's going to move on to Kyle O'Reilly, more likely than not, at TakeOver in Your House. My question is, what do you do with Balor? Some people have been saying that that's it for Balor. Quite possibly, I wouldn't put it past WWE to send Balor to the main roster. We could possibly get him on SmackDown facing Roman. I wouldn't mind that, but I wouldn't even put him on SmackDown because SmackDown, they're overloaded with talent in the main event scene and in the mid-card. You got Rollins, you got Big E, you got Owens, you got Zayn, you got Apollo, you got Black, you got Cesaro, you got Roman, you got Nakamura. So, I wouldn't even put Balor in that spot. I would put Balor on Raw. Now, I understand why people are concerned about Balor being on Raw. I get it, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, Raw needs all the help that it can get. And if Daniel Bryan is clearly not going to Raw, you put Balor on Raw, then you can get Cole on Raw. Then Damian Priest is coming up through the rankings. Then you could possibly get Angel Garza coming up through the rankings. It's a very, very interesting scenario, but Monday Night Raw needs all the help that it can get. Monday Night Raw needs all the help that it can get. So if Balor is going to go up to the main roster, I would put him on Raw, and I would put him in the WWE Championship title picture and give him the WWE Championship. If he's staying in NXT, I can absolutely see him going into a possible Cruiserweight Championship title feud with Kushida. I think that would be a great match. That would be a great feud. Kushida is making that title feel prestigious. Kushida is legitimately making that title feel prestigious, especially after the match that we got with Escobar in the main event of NXT. But that's what's going on with the NXT Championship title scene. We got an NXT title match in 2 weeks. And then at TakeOver in Your House, I can see Cross moving on to O'Reilly. Like I said, everyone that is put in front of Cross is going to chew up and spit out until we get to Parker Bodor, until Parker Bodor is ready. Breezango versus MSK. This was a good match for what it was. Went about 11 minutes. Breezango and MSK, they did a very good job at making the tag team division feel a little bit more prestigious. The ref did a little leap down, drop down, and leapfrog. The crowd loved it. That was actually pretty interesting. I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty interesting. Coming back from commercial, Breezango, they isolated Wesley. Fandango with a Falcon Arrow for a 2. Nash Carter got the hot tag with a nice moonsault on Breeze for a 2. We had a super kick by Breeze to Carter and Lee. We had a tag to Fandango. Carter then with a knee to Fandango and then a moonsault by Carter, taking out Breezango on the floor. We had a tag to Breeze. Breeze was then caught with a heart attack blockbuster combo for the win. Good match. Afterwards, Breezango shook hands with MSK, and MSK then called out Legado del Fantasma. So it looks like we could be getting Legado del Fantasma versus MSK at TakeOver in Your House. So the lineup for TakeOver in Your House, we could be looking at O'Reilly and Cross. We could be looking at Legado del Fantasma and MSK. I'm not sure if Kushida's going to be on the show. Maybe. We'll have to see. Maybe Kushida gets involved with somebody like an Isaiah Swerve Scott. Maybe he gets involved with a Finn Balor. I'm not sure. Raquel Gonzalez, I'm not sure who she fights, but I expect Bronson Reed to be the North American champion going into TakeOver in Your House, and I actually expect him to be fighting someone like an LA Knight, considering LA Knight, he's been built up a decent amount. He's been on a winning streak as of lately. Pete Dunne was in the ring, and he said, so Karrion Kross has chosen Finn Balor. Karrion Kross ducking me sooner rather than later. The title is mine. I'm the baddest man in NXT. Here's your chance. Prove me wrong. Out of nowhere, we had Leon Ruff, who was in William Regal's office earlier, demanding that he wanted to compete. William Regal did not allow him to, so Leon Ruff went against William Regal. Leon Ruff then attacked Pete Dunne, answered the open challenge. This went about 4 minutes, and Pete Dunne ended up winning. This was not bad for what it was whatsoever. I did not mind this whatsoever. Dunn ended up winning with a triangle chokehold, and then he repeatedly elbowed Leon Ruff in the head. Pete Dunne won via referee stoppage. Dunn then snapped the fingers, and he stood tall with Oni Lorcan. Aside from the NXT Championship match in 2 weeks, we also got the debut of Frankie Monet, a.k.a. Taya Valkyrie. I don't think anyone cares about Frankie Monet because the gimmick absolutely fucking sucks. Raquel Gonzalez versus Mercedes Martinez. This was for the NXT Women's Championship. This was good. Really nothing too crazy, really nothing too over the top, but this was good. We did get a few botches here and there, and obviously that has to do with Raquel Gonzalez being a little inexperienced. So she really does need someone to carry her to a good match, and I feel as though that's where women like Ember and Shotzi are going to come in, because Ember and Shotzi, they just recently lost the Women's Tag Team Championships to The Way. So at the end of the day, they could be used to enhance Raquel Gonzalez. We'll have to wait and see there. So, Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez. Martinez went right after Gonzalez. We had a cannonball off the apron. Martinez was in full control before Raquel took over with a nice power slam for a 2. Martinez locked in a sleeper, but Raquel fought back. Martinez with an elevated swinging neckbreaker for a 2. We had a spear by Martinez on the apron to Raquel. We had an alley-oop drop on the ropes by Raquel. Raquel sent Martinez into the post. We had a slight botch where they kind of looked out of place, where Martinez kind of stomped away to try and cover up the botch. It didn't really look good at all. Did not look good at all. Raquel looked like she wasn't ready, and obviously that's something that's going to come over time, the experience factor, but this botch did not look good whatsoever. Martinez then with a knee and a fisherman buster for a 2. Gonzalez kicked out. Gonzalez then with a boot to the face, and then a one-armed powerbomb to retain the championship. Good, not great by any means, but a decent match with Raquel and Mercedes Martinez. Raquel does well for her first title defense, minus the slight botches here and there. And it looks like Raquel Gonzalez could be possibly looking at a challenger like Shotzi, maybe Ember Moon at TakeOver in Your House. I'm not sure if Dakota Kai turns on Raquel Gonzalez, but she doesn't really deserve a title opportunity because she hasn't really done anything. But we'll find out. The Way was shown being shoved out of Bronson Reed's locker room. They recently just attacked Bronson Reed. And later on it was confirmed that Bronson Reed and Johnny Gargano for the North American title next week. It's going to be a steel cage match. That should be great. I expect a tsunami splash from the top of the cage. We also got Zoe Stark versus Toni Storm next week. We had Isaiah Swerve Scott on the ramp. He said, "It's about to get real spooky here in NXT." And he came out with his entourage, and they're calling themselves Hit Row. So he sat in a very nice chair in the ring, and he says, "I was trying to be something that these people perceived me to be. Swerve is a savage. Swerve is a dangerous man, and it only seemed right that I recruit some people who think the same way." So he introduced AJ Francis, who he's going by the name Top Dollar. He spit some nice bars. He said, "I make top dollar everywhere I go. I'm nefarious." So very, 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 very nice slick bars right there by Top Dollar. We then had Ashanti the Adonis then speak, and he hyped himself up. And then we had B Fab, and she is fab. Trust me on that. She got some fab legs, if I do say so myself. So she was the mind of the group. Swerve said, "Take a look. This is a problem. We are Hit Row, and if you didn't know, now you know." This was fucking excellent. This was legitimately excellent. This shit with Hit Row, this is what's going to take Swerve to the next level. And I can absolutely see Bronson Reed winning the North American Championship from Johnny Gargano, and Swerve is going to be built up to take the title off of Bronson Reed towards the end of the year. Swerve is going to be a North American champion. He's going to be big, I'm telling you. Swerve's going to be big. Hit Row, this was excellent. Loved every minute of it. It's making Swerve feel more important and feel more legit than he really is. And that's what I love. That's some great shit right there. I got no problem with this whatsoever. This is awesome. Cameron Grimes was at an auction. We had my good old friend Cameron Grimes. And I was at an auction, and I was going to buy a house and take it to the moon. So Cameron Grimes was at an auction. He was looking to buy a house, but the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, he bought out the house for $20 million, and he said, everyone's got a price for the $1 million man, and you, my friend, are no $1 million man. So Grimes was then screaming out the sky. He was going, why, Ted DiBiase? Why? I don't know where this is leading to, but I hope it leads to a partnership, because Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase in a partnership, that would be great. I really do hope it does lead to a partnership. Kyle O'Reilly versus Oni Lorcan. This is a pretty standard match. They were trading some stiff strikes back and forth. Lorcan hits fucking hard. Lorcan hits hard. Kyle O'Reilly with a brainbuster and a diving knee to the back of the head for the win. Dunn then attacked Kyle O'Reilly afterwards. 2-on-1 assault. Bobby Fish then came out, and Bobby Fish returned to aid Kyle O'Reilly in sending Lorcan and Dunn away. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish exchanged a few words. He said, I got my own scores to settle, and I'll see you when I see you. So I'm not really sure what Bobby Fish is going to be doing, but I'm telling you right now, listen, Bobby Fish is great. Bobby Fish is awesome, and it's great to see him back. Bobby Fish is very, very good at what he does. He is. But I'm sorry, he's not. And I'm telling you, he's not going to be going anywhere. The Undisputed Era breakup was probably the worst thing in the world for Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish. I would keep them together as a tag team, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, because A, NXT needs tag teams, and that's probably the best route for Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong. Kyle O'Reilly, he looks to be going places in NXT as a singles guy. Not yet, at least, but he looks to be. At least until they can actually have Kyle find himself and get rid of this fucking cool Kyle gimmick, because it sucks. But Bobby Fish, he is not going anywhere as a singles guy in NXT. He's not. I'm sorry. If you think he is, something's wrong with you. Kushida versus Santos Escobar. This was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. MSK attacked Legado del Fantasma, and the ref ejected all of them. Kushida tried to take over control early. Escobar tried to wear down Kushida. Kushida then came back with a very nice drop kick. Escobar answered back with a very nice phantom driver, and Escobar scored the first fall. Kushida wasted no time. He locked in an armbar, and Escobar tapped out. Kushida tied it up 1-1. And now we were tied, and we go into the final fall. Escobar with a very nice suicide dive onto Kushida. Kushida with a knee right to the elbow and a PK to the arm. Kushida then dropped Escobar arm first on the floor. Escobar with a leg lariat to the face. Back and forth jackknife covers. Double clothesline. Both men are down. Escobar with Kushida on the top. We had a hoverboard lock. Kushida had it locked in tight. Escobar just got to the ropes. Escobar was on the receiving end of a suplex into the corner, and then a necklock suplex for the 1-2-3, and Kushida wins an excellent 2 out of 3 falls match. Absolutely the best match of the night. Escobar and Kushida are absolute masterminds within the ropes, and Kushida, he's really doing that title good. Kushida is really doing that title good. Kushida is really doing that title favors, and Kushida's making that title feel legit. If this keeps up, Kushida, he is really, really, really going to be a big deal in NXT. And to be quite honest with you, listen, I want Kushida to succeed on the main roster, but he's not. He's not. This is as far as he's going to go in NXT. He's going to be a NXT Cruiserweight Champion. He'll probably be a North American Champion. It depends. He'll probably be a North American Champion. But at the end of the day, Kushida, this is what Kushida is going to be doing in NXT. Kushida is never going to get this spotlight on the main roster. He's not. He's not. A decent show, but holy shit, there is no energy behind NXT. All that influence from Vince McMahon is still being felt. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not sure if NXT is ever going to get back to where it once was, but man, NXT, it's a shell of its former self. It really is. It really is. Decent show, though. Wasn't bad, but still, nothing that we would be clamoring for. Nothing that was over the top on NXT. Proud Mixed Child's going to get some Wendy's. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for stopping by. Furious Nation. Balor back on the main roster. May just have been mishandled. And he was when he was on it, because WWE brass are fucking idiots. Tell me about it, Proud Mixed Child. Furious Nation, I honestly think Cross as NXT champion does more harm to NXT. You're absolutely right. Why are the likes dropping? I don't know, Danielle. I don't know, but we got 2 less likes. So if you want to, here's what I want you to do. Share it out to your peeps, Danielle, because we need more people in here. We still got 3 more shows to review, and we're going to be reviewing Dynamite next. So we want to get over 30 likes. We want to get over 30 likes, and I think that we can. So what do you say? What do you say? We are going to get into AEW. We are going to get into AEW, and we are going to talk about the excellent fucking show that AEW had this past Wednesday. Lots of great shit. The show feels as important as it should. Awesome, 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 awesome fucking show we had here. And you are not going to want to miss a moment of Dynamite, because they are building very, very nicely towards Double or Nothing. We had a great show with Dynamite. We had Yuji Nagata kicking off the show with Jon Moxley. This was for the IWGP United States Championship. And this match only went about 10 minutes. But man, what is it? Was it a very, very, very good match for 10 minutes? Very, very good match for 10 minutes here between Yuji Nagata and Jon Moxley. Nagata with some stiff strikes. Big exploder suplex for 2. I would not like to be on the receiving end of Yuji Nagata strikes. Yuji Nagata is a fucking beast when it comes to the striking game. Brutal as shit. So we had a big German suplex by Jon Moxley and a wicked lariat for 2. Nagata then took Moxley up to the top. We had a big exploder suplex from the top. And then we had a big kick to the chest, but Moxley kicked out. Nagata with the Fujiwara armbar, but Moxley got to the ropes. Moxley tried to lock in the Bulldog choke. Nagata fought free. Moxley then with knees to the gut, and he hit the paradigm shift for the 1, 2, 3. And Jon Moxley wins a very good match for 10 minutes. And Jon Moxley retains the IWGP United States Championship against Yuji Nagata. Great exposure for Yuji Nagata and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I'm very, very happy that the Forbidden Door is starting to be tapped into a little bit more. Afterwards, Moxley and Nagata with a nice show of respect. Very good match for 10 minutes. A very, very stiff wrestling match. Lots of kicks, lots of strikes, lots of suplexes. And Jon Moxley retains the IWGP United States Championship as he should. And Yuji Nagata impresses wildly. Cody Rhodes came out. He was going to make a big Double or Nothing announcement. He said, I've never been more proud to be an American. Anthony Ogogo has verbally bashed the United States, and he has all the rights to do so and say whatever he wants. Ogogo, let me tell you something. You didn't come here to live the English dream. This industry that you chose, there was an Italian champion who was champion for 4,000 plus days. There was segregation years ago, and now my wife will give birth to a beautiful white and black princess. Shun neither identity. I will fight back. And here's where we'll do the fighting. At Double or Nothing. For one night at Double or Nothing, it will be Anthony Ogogo versus the American Dream, Cody Rhodes. Now, first things first. This promo was excellent. Excellent. People want to call this promo cringe. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Don't listen to these fucking retards. This promo was excellent. People are just looking to hate on AEW. People are just looking to hate on Cody. This promo was the furthest thing from cringe. This promo was excellent. Cody Rhodes makes everything feel more important and sound more important than it really is, even if it means nothing. And let's be honest, this match with Anthony Ogogo, it means nothing. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. But Cody made it sound like it was the most important thing in the world. But if we're going to be quite honest here, Ogogo has done absolutely nothing, absolutely fucking nothing, to prove that he deserves to be in this opportunity, to be in this position, to be in this spotlight on a major pay-per-view with Cody Rhodes of all people. They have shown absolutely nothing with Anthony Ogogo. All he's done is repeatedly punch people in the gut. That's it. That's it. Ogogo has shown absolutely fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing in terms of whether or not he deserves to be in this position. And he doesn't. He's not ready. Now, for all we know, we could be in store for something that may blow us all away. He could end up pulling a Pat McAfee, and he could shock the fucking world. And you know what? I hope he does. To be quite honest, I hope he does. But if we're going to be quite honest here, Anthony Ogogo, from what we've seen, from what the fans have seen, Ogogo has done absolutely fucking nothing. He's done nothing to deserve an opportunity on a big stage like this. They better know what they're doing. Now, if Anthony Ogogo, behind the scenes, has risen to the occasion, God bless him, but we don't know that. We don't know what Anthony Ogogo has done, so we're going to have to keep an eye on what he has next week against Austin Gunn. But from what we've seen, Anthony Ogogo hasn't done anything. And to be quite honest with you, this just seems like AEW just trying to push an agenda. It seems like AEW putting Anthony Ogogo out there in the deep end because they have high hopes for him, not knowing whether or not he's going to fail or succeed. And if he fails, this is not going to come off well, especially considering that it's on a big fucking pay-per-view. This is not a pay-per-view worthy match, and Anthony Ogogo, again, he has shown nothing. He's not ready. He ain't ready. I'm sorry. Now, I do hope that he succeeds. I hope that he succeeds and he pulls a Pat McAfee and shocks the world. But based off of what we've seen, we're going based off of that. And what we've seen hasn't been all that impressive from Mr. Ogogo. Just saying. The promo was excellent, though. Excellent promo. Made it seem like the most important thing in the world. I fucking love what Cody does on the microphone. But Anthony Ogogo ain't ready. I hope that we're in store for something. I really do. I really do hope that we're in store for something with Anthony Ogogo at Double or Nothing. I do. SCU. Christopher Daniels and Frank Kazarian versus the Young Bucks. This is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. And this was a great fucking match. And if I'm going to be quite honest, this match definitely told the best story. This match definitely told the best story throughout all the matches throughout the week. Bucks were in control. We had a senton to Daniels while he was draped over the apron. Kazarian got the tag. We had a big springboard leg drop on Matt for a 2. SCU with a powerbomb neckbreaker combo for a 2. Very, very nice stuff. We had the celebrity rehab on Matt. Nick Jackson with some vicious kicks and strikes on Frankie. We had a slingshot facebuster, super kick to Daniels, and Daniels was busted open. Daniels was busted open. He was sent to the post, and he was busted open fucking bad. He was busted open bad. And the blood really did enhance this match overall. So, Bucks took over. Kazarian with a double pin, but the Bucks barely kicked out. Doc Gallows got involved. Kazarian with a Styles Clash, tribute to AJ Styles. Styles Clash, but Nick barely saved it. We had a super kick by Matt, tombstone, and a knee strike, but Daniels was able to save the match. Angel's Wings on Nick. We had a spear by Matt, punches to the open wound. Daniels could barely stand. Matt with the I'm sorry, I love you, a little throwback to what happened with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, but obviously in a very heelish manner. Matt Jackson obviously was not genuine. He was mocking the entire thing with Daniels and how SCU was going to break up afterwards, blah, 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 and how Daniels is the old guy. So a super kick, but Daniels just barely kicked out. I thought that was it. There was some pretty close near falls where I actually thought SCU was going to win the titles. Daniels with the best moonsault ever, but Nick saved it. Matt Jackson with the cold spray and a bottle right to the head. Daniels was just able to kick out, but then we had the BTE trigger, and the Bucks retained. And in the back, we had Kingston and Moxley destroying the Bucks locker room. So it was confirmed later on that the Bucks wanted Moxley and Kingston at Double or Nothing. This was a great tag team match overall, and afterwards, SCU embraced. SCU now has to break up as a unit. They are done as a tag team. This was an excellent, excellent, excellent fucking match. Blood really helped. And Christopher Daniels, he could still go. He could still go. Very, very proud of Christopher Daniels. Very, very impressed with Christopher Daniels. Awesome match. The Bucks have been enhanced tenfold. Next week, they're actually defending against the Varsity Blondes. We also got Serena Deeb versus Red Velvet for the NWA Women's World Championship. Anthony Ogogo is taking on Austin Gunn. And then we had a little segment which led into a match for next week. Christian Cage said that he had an open contract and he was talking to Taz to send any member of Team Taz out there for a match next week. He also said that he's entering the Casino Battle Royal at Double or Nothing. Matt Sydal then came in and he said he signed an open contract, so he's facing Cage next week. Next week we got Christian Cage versus Matt Sydal. Should be a very, very good match right there. Orange Cassidy versus Pac. This was an AEW World Title Eliminator match. And Orange Cassidy, he landed rough off the Liger Bomb for a close 2 count. Pac remained in control, and it really looked like they had to call an audible. They had to call an audible because Orange Cassidy was legitimately hurt, and he was legitimately knocked out in the ring. And it was reported by Mike Johnson of PW Insider that the original finish was actually going to be a double countout, a time limit draw. So neither man would win, and we get the triple threat match anyway. So Don Callis came out, tried to distract Pac. Omega came up from behind, and he decked Pac with the title right in the back of the head. The ref counted to 10. The match ended in a double countout. Callis goes, "We don't have a winner, so we get the night off at Double or Nothing." Omega goes, "Let's go on a road trip." Tony Schiavone then said, "I've just been told that at Double or Nothing there will be a world title match and you will have a 3-way with both men for the world title." Obviously, Omega and Callis were pissed, and Omega goes, "Go back to Winnipeg." Now, it really did look like Cassidy was legit hurt, and they did call an audible. It was going to end in a time limit draw, but they did the best that they could. It seemed a little odd at first. It seemed very, very odd, very, very weird, but they did what they could because of Orange Cassidy getting legitimately hurt. And it happens. It happens. People get hurt. You can't really do too much about it. We had the coronation of the Pinnacle. The coronation of the Pinnacle. MJF came out dressed as a king. He had a crown. Looked great. Flocked by a few women. A woman in each arm. Gorgeous women. He bragged about AEW ranking #1 on the cable lists. And he teased a rematch with the Inner Circle. But of course he said no. Tully said, when you quit, you stinkin' quit. And he bragged about the women, and he brought out fresh Rolex watches for the Pinnacle. So they put on the watches, looked great, looked fantastic. Put on those watches, and they were bragging about their win. They were relishing in their win. All of a sudden, you start hearing this car beep. Jericho was in the back of a golf cart attached with something on the back that was being carried, and you could visibly see that the golf cart had a fire hose on it, so I knew for a fact what they were doing. So, the Inner Circle was driving a golf cart. It was specifically Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, and Ortiz. Jericho was in the back. They actually got Santana arrested. MJF got Santana arrested. He got Santana arrested for stabbing him with a fork. It's great. So, Jericho was in the back. He was wearing a visible elbow brace, and it was actually reported that Jericho's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks because he legitimately has a dislocated elbow. So I hope that Jericho recovers quite nicely, and it looks like he won't be at Double or Nothing. Maybe he will. Maybe he's going to be a part of the cinematic match. We'll have to wait and see. So, Jericho asked for the rematch. MJF said, N-O, no. Jericho said, get him, Sammy. And they fired a little bit of the bubbly champagne from the hose at the Pinnacle. A very nice little tribute to Stone Cold Steve Austin's beer truck segment in the Attitude Era. Nice little tribute right there. So MJF, he was flipping and flopping. Everyone was flipping and flopping in the bubbly. And then MJF was like, shut the hell up, shut the hell up. MJF is losing his shit. So he goes, on May 30th, Double or Nothing, we'll take you on in the same match that you lost last year, Stadium Stampede. But if you guys lose, the Inner Circle has to break up forever. Take it or leave it. Think about it, fellas. So it looks like we're getting the Stadium Stampede, Double or Nothing, and the Inner Circle needs to break up if they lose. I got no issue with this. I see Inner Circle winning, and I see this program continuing throughout the summer. I absolutely see this program continuing throughout the summer with MJF and Jericho having a big blow-off, possibly at All Out. We had Thunder Rosa versus Jasmine Allure. Very, very quick match. Thunder Rosa wins with the Fire Thunder Driver. She said that she wants the NWA Women's World Championship back, and I can absolutely see Thunder Rosa facing Serena Deeb on the buy-in pre-show at Double or Nothing for the NWA Women's World Championship. Jade Cargill was interviewed about Mark Sterling. Cargill said, I'm my own boss. I'm that bitch. So, Jade Cargill, she don't need a manager. She don't need a manager. Just continue to build her up. Continue to build her up. And by the end of next year, she is going to be in line to face off against whoever the Women's World Champion is. Darby Allin versus Miro. This was for the TNT Championship. Got my somewhat Miro merch. So, Miro attacked Darby Allin before the bell even rang. Miro was just tossing Darby Allin around ringside. Darby still said he could go. Miro with a big kick to the face, but Darby kicked out. Darby tried to fight back. Darby then sent Miro into the post. Big tope suicida crashing into Miro. Looked like he got shot out of a cannon. Darby Allin just bounced off of Miro as if he was a fucking trampoline. Looked fucking great. Like, it was like some out of fucking Wipeout. So, he went for a coffin drop, but Miro with a German suplex to Darby on the floor. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky actually attacked Sting again. So it looks like they could be mixing it up with Sting and Darby. Miro then kept tossing Darby around. Darby then with a modified bulldog choke before Miro got to the ropes. On the outside, Miro then rammed Darby into the wall, which looked brutal. Miro then targeted the shoulder of Darby. Allin and Sting then fist bumped. Sting was like, he nodded. He was like, keep fighting, keep fighting. Darby Allin continued to fight. We had an over-the-top stunner. Inside cradle for a close 2 count. We had an over-the-top stunner again. And a coffin drop. But that was countered into a roll-up for a 2. We had a code red for a 2. And Miro then locked in the game over. Bent Darby Allin all the way back like a fucking... He twisted him and bent him back as if he's trying to break a fucking twig. And Darby Allin passed out. Miro wins the TNT Championship in a very well-booked match. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky then attacked Sting. The Dark Order, for whatever fucking reason, came out to save him. And then Lance Archer came out to confront Miro. And that's the way that AEW Dynamite went off the air. Miro, it took him 9 months. But we finally got the correct booking for Miro. And Miro looked like a dominant monster. Miro is now the TNT champion. Darby Allin, he had a great reign, but now it is Miro's time. And now Miro is going to possibly go into Double or Nothing to face Lance Archer, which I really would not mind. And I think Miro, I don't want to get ahead of the game either, but I have a feeling that we could be looking at Miro versus Samoa Joe. I think that Tony Khan is going to look to get Samoa Joe on the line, and Tony Khan is going to look to get Samoa Joe into AEW. We could be looking at Samoa Joe as the new TNT champion by the end of the fall, going into the Christmas season of 2021. NXT UK. This was a good show. I would say better than last week. We had some pretty damn good wrestling on the show. We had a setup for a women's championship match later on in the show. Nathan Frazier took on Noam Dar. That's actually not Raw, Danielle Wolf. That is actually Backlash of 2020. That's what's in the background. So Nathan Frazier took on Noam Dar. This was a Heritage Cup rules match. Good match for what it was right here. I am a big fan of Nathan Frazier, although I don't really see him going anywhere in NXT UK. Maybe a Cruiserweight title reign. Maybe an NXT UK Heritage Cup tournament reign. I am not sure, but we'll have to wait and see there. So no falls were scored in the first round. Dar with a cheap shot after the bell. Frazier then with a cradle to get the first fall in the second round. Shaw Samuels then came out to aid Noam Dar. Frazier then with a swift moonsault into the eye of the hurricane. Samuels with a distraction. The round ended before Frazier could hit the frog splash. Frazier was then caught in a knee bar and he tapped out. Dar tied up the score. Up in the fourth round, and then in the fifth round, it was very, very fast-paced. Shaw Samuels then grabbed the leg. Frazier missed with a drop kick. Noam Dar hit the Nova Roller, and we had Noam Dar winning this match. So it looks like they're giving Frazier something to do. It does look like they will be giving Frazier something to do. Very, very interested to see what they do with Nathan Frazier, but Noam Dar gets the win. It seemed like Noam Dar really needed to get the win here, but I would rather push Noam Dar and Shaw Samuels in the tag team division, considering he just broke up Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. Not sure where Kenny Williams is going, but we'll have to see. Trent Seven was in the PC. Gradwell, Sam Gradwell that is, was poking at him. Seven slapped the ever-living shit out of Sam Gradwell, and the people in the PC held them back, so it looks like we could be getting a match between Sam Gradwell and Trent Seven. Should be interesting. Mark Andrews versus Levi Muir. Andrews, now with new theme music, he is now a member of Subculture with Danny Luna and Flash Morgan Webster. Andrews was using his quickness against Muir. Muir with a nice slingshot suplex for a 2. Andrews with a stun dog millionaire, a big suicide dive, and a shooting star press to the back for the win. Fun little showcase here for Mark Andrews. Levi Muir is actually pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie. So, we had a very good sit-down segment with sit-down interview segment with A-Kid and Tyler Bate. And this was very, very, very well done here. And I do believe that Tyler Bate actually wins next week. If you're not watching NXT UK, definitely watch NXT UK. I do believe that Tyler Bate is going to win the NXT UK Heritage Cup from A-Kid next week. Find out what happens there. Next week, we also have Supernova 11 sessions with Ilya Dragunov next week. And then we had the women's gauntlet match. Zaya Brookside was not medically cleared to compete because Amale, or Amale, whatever you want to call her, I think it's Amale, A-L-A-M-E, she attacked Zaya Brookside last week, and she was not medically cleared. So, Meiko Satomura took her place. We started off with Isla Dawn versus Amelia McKenzie. Amelia McKenzie with a nice spear for a 2. Isla Dawn then with a kick and a half suplex for the win. Out then came Danny Luna. She led up Dawn with some nice deadlift suplexes for some close 2 counts. Dawn then rolled up Luna after Luna connected with the steel post. Meiko Satomura then came out next. She was Brookside's replacement. Dawn tried to keep the pressure on Satomura. These women were trading some stiff strikes for sure. Dawn then with a Meteor for a close 2 count. Satomura then with a DDT. Cartwheel shin kick. And Satomura with the Fujiwara armbar. She transitioned into a roll-up for the win. Ginny came out last. These two went back and forth. Ginny tried to weaken Satomura. Connors then got involved, but he caught a kick. Satomura with the Death Valley driver, a big kick, and the Scorpio Rising for the win. Very good gauntlet match right here. Afterwards, Kaylee Ray came out to stand face-to-face with Satomura. Kaylee Ray then gave Satomura a super kick, and she said, "How dare you? She is the champ, and nobody is going to change that." Kaylee Ray, let me tell you something. Based on what happened with the fact that Eva Valkyrie lost and the fact that Satomura just won this gauntlet match, I'm sorry, but I think that Meiko Satomura is going to get the win, and Meiko Satomura is going to be the new NXT UK Women's Champion. And Meiko Satomura is ending the reign of the forever champ, Kaylee Ray. What happens with Kaylee Ray afterwards, I don't know. But to be quite honest with you, I would put her on either Raw or SmackDown because Raw or SmackDown, they need all the help that they can get in their women's divisions. Good show, nothing really too over the top, but it was good. We got some really good women's wrestling. We did get some really good wrestling with Noam Dar and Nathan Fraser. So I will keep you guys updated on whatever NXT UK is doing. And the 2 Danielles that are going at it in the chat, yes, NXT is so much better. NXT's always been better, if we're going to be quite honest here. So, I hope that everyone is having a good time. We are doing very well. I believe that we are going to get over 100 views here for the Lightning Flash update. And the connection's much better. Connection's much better for sure. We are going to get into the final show of the week, and then we're going to get out of here. And we got WrestleMania Backlash tomorrow. I will be live tweeting. And I will also be note-taking for the rundown. Thank you very much. Be sure to join me tomorrow for some live tweeting for not NXT, for WrestleMania Backlash specifically. Yeah, NXT is way better than the main roster. Cool King knows. Smackdown. Another lackluster show. Really nothing of substance outside of Roman Reigns. No shit. Really nothing of substance with Smackdown. But we kicked off with Jey Uso. And he said, last week my brother Jimmy disrespected the head of the table. Now we gotta handle some family business. With that, I give to you the head of the table, the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns came out with Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns took the mic and he said, I'm going to address Cesaro first. Roman goes, I have respect for Cesaro. We can say that he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, right? But I'm much more than just a wrestler. You think the WWE wants Cesaro in my place? You really think Fox wants him in my place? I fucking love Roman Reigns' attitude. I really do. I love the cockiness that he just oozes. It's great. So he goes to Heyman and he goes, hey Heyman, how many world title matches has Cesaro had? And Heyman said 0. Well, he goes, how many world title matches have I been in? And Heyman goes, to my calculations, you have been in 39. So 39 world title matches. Roman was then going to get to Jimmy Uso, but then Jimmy Uso ended up coming out. And he says, Tribal Chief out here with my brother acting like his bitch. He was actually wearing a shirt that said, nobody's bitch, which looked great. It was absolutely fucking fantastic. I fucking love. I don't know how long it took him to make that. They probably had that shit made immediately, but he had a shirt that said nobody's bitch. Great. So Uso said, you are a part of the family. You ain't all of it. Reigns goes, you don't think I can beat Cesaro? Uso goes, no. I don't think you can beat Cesaro, but what if we became tag team champions and then you lost the Universal Championship? Does that make us the Tribal Chiefs? Roman goes, that's not how this works. He was getting angry. He goes, I'm the Universal Champion. I'm the head of the table. You can't fill my shoes. You think you could be the man? So Roman started to get snarky. He's like, you think you could be the man? I'll give you my show. Show that you can beat him. Can you beat him? So Uso, Jimmy Uso that is, he then calls out Cesaro one-on-one for a match. And then Jimmy Uso, like a sly motherfucker, goes over to Roman and goes, was that good? Was that good? So Cesaro came out and he says, challenge accepted. And he says he's going to beat his cousin and then beat Roman for the Universal Championship. Listen. The promo was great. This segment was great. The promo was great. Roman Reigns, everything that he has done, everything that Roman Reigns has done has been nothing short of perfect. The way that he carries himself in the ring, the way that he carries himself in promos, his in-ring work, his promo work, his mannerisms, his social media work and posts. He's living the gimmick, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is literally living the gimmick. And that's what I love. I love it. Roman Reigns is living the gimmick, and everything that he does is must-see. But again, I'm going to say the same thing I said last week. Why is it that we are going back to the family drama with Roman Reigns? I don't really get it. It doesn't change the fact that no matter how good this promo was, that the family feud, a potential matchup with Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns, it's not necessary, and it's way too early for Cesaro. Cesaro should have been saved for SummerSlam. He should have been saved to take the title off of Roman at SummerSlam. And if you weren't going to do it at SummerSlam, you should have extended it to Hell in a Cell. That way Roman's title reign would have been well over 400 days, and then you could have given the title to Cesaro at Hell in a Cell. I don't understand. I really don't understand why Cesaro is pretty much being used as a bridge. Like Cesaro's legitimately coming off as if they're using him as an interim opponent, just a bridge opponent to get Roman Reigns through Backlash so we can get a Jimmy Uso versus Roman Reigns program throughout June and July before we eventually get a big match with a potential Rollins, maybe an Edge, maybe a Rock. I doubt it, but before we eventually get a big match for Roman at SummerSlam, it's like Roman Reigns he's going to go into an interim program with Cesaro, only to go into another family drama program with Jimmy Uso. We don't need to revisit what happened all the way back in October with Jay. We don't. We don't. What happened back in October, in the fall, with Jay and Roman, that was when Roman just came back. That was when Roman just came back, and Roman was looking to establish himself as a heel, and they looked to establish himself as a heel through family. Now, Roman Reigns is established. Roman Reigns is now established, and now what you should be doing is using Roman Reigns to help elevate others, like a Shinsuke Nakamura or a Big E. It's obvious that Roman Reigns is not going to be losing the Universal title anytime soon. So why do you need to go into a family drama program that is ultimately going to be a predictable outcome with Jimmy Uso losing, because no one believes that Jimmy Uso is going to win the Universal title from Roman Reigns if we get that match one-on-one, and if we get this family program going into Money in the Bank and Extreme Rules. Nobody fucking believes that Jimmy Uso is going to win the Universal Championship. The end game here is going to be Jimmy Uso losing, falling in line, and the Usos are going to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles. So why do we need this program? Why can't we just have the Usos get built up over time to face off against whoever the champions are at SummerSlam? I don't get it. Why not put a Shinsuke Nakamura in there? Why not put a Big E in there? They're not going to win, but they certainly deserve an opportunity to showcase what they could do in a big-time matchup, a world title matchup on a pay-per-view with the best in the game. Big E, a lot of people have been clamoring, Big E needs to be in the main event scene. Big E. Why don't you put Big E against Roman as a one-off, as a trial run, so that way we could see how he handles himself in the main event scene? Same thing with Shinsuke Nakamura. Maybe Shinsuke Nakamura and Big E will be elevated coming out of this. I don't understand why we need a family feud revisited when Roman Reigns is already established to a point where now you need to place challengers in front of him that are ultimately going to lose, but they're going to end up coming out better in the end, like a Nakamura, like a Big E, like a Cesaro, like a potential Seth Rollins, even though I don't think that's a good idea at all. And it all goes back to what I said last week. Cesaro is being used as a bridge opponent to get Roman into a family feud with Jimmy Uso. And Cesaro, and this push that Cesaro's had, it was all Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was the one that spearheaded this Cesaro push, and the fact that now he's no longer under contract with the WWE, Daniel Bryan is not a part of the creative team, now they're free to do whatever they want with Cesaro. They just decided to push Cesaro into this championship match because he was the only one that was built up enough. And that was pretty much that, because there needed to be a payoff. Cesaro can't just beat Rollins and then just go back to doing nothing in mid-card purgatory. They pretty much had no choice. But Cesaro, he's given this match, he's ultimately going to lose, and then what is he going to do? Look at what happened with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens isn't really any better off, and that has to do with WWE Creative. I don't trust WWE Creative. With Daniel Bryan gone, now they're free to do whatever they want with Cesaro. They don't value Cesaro. If they valued Cesaro, they would have continued to build up Cesaro and wait until SummerSlam to do Cesaro versus Roman. Now who do you do at SummerSlam? I hate this. I hate that they're using Cesaro as a bridge just to get Roman into a family feud with Jimmy Uso when it's not fucking necessary. It's not. Speaking of unnecessary, you want to talk about unnecessary, look no further than the Women's Tag Team Championships. Tamina and Natalya versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Reginald was kicked out. Tamina and Nia Jax went back a few times. Natalya hit a German suplex to Shayna Baszler on the floor. Natalya then got Samoan dropped in the ring, and Tamina then with a Superfly splash. Tamina and Natalya win the Women's Tag Team Championships. Afterwards, they were interviewed and they were fake crying, absolute cringe. Fireworks went off, corny as shit. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? This match sucked. The Women's Tag Team title sucked. Tamina sucks. Nia Jax sucks. The women's division sucks. The only positive thing that came out of this, is that now the titles are finally off Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Now, let's get Shayna Baszler away from Nia Flapjacks, and why don't we get Shayna Baszler in the Money in the Bank ladder match for the women, and let's give Shayna Baszler the Money in the Bank briefcase for the women. Tamina sucks. Apollo Crews and his Commander Aziz, they were in the ring. Crews was gifting Commander Aziz the Medal of Nigerian Honor, and he says that there is no end in sight of my reign, and I may be Intercontinental Champion for life. So he gifted Commander Aziz the Nigerian Medal of Honor. And then afterwards, Big E came up on the Titantron, and he says, don't get too comfortable. You still got to feel my power. And then out came Sami Zayn, and he says, I respect a good award ceremony, but if you're a man of honor, you'd give me a chance to reclaim my Intercontinental Championship. Out came Owens. Out came Kevin Owens. And then we had him going after Sammy. Crews and Commander Aziz attacked Kevin Owens. And then Owens super kicked Big E, and then he super kicked Crews, and then he hit a stunner on Zayn. Big E then came back with a big ending to Kevin Owens, and Big E ended up standing tall. So next week, it was confirmed by Adam Pearce that we are getting a fatal four-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. It's Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens versus Big E. Listen, I get what they're trying to do. I get it. I get what they're trying to do. I get that they're trying to generate interest in their weekly programming. I get it. But, I mean, come on. Come on. You're really telling me that you'd rather waste this match away for free on television? You'd rather put this match on television, but you'd rather put Damian Priest versus the fucking Miz in a lumberjack match on WrestleMania Backlash. This should have been at the pay-per-view. I'm sorry. We had Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler. This was actually a very good match for what it was. Probably the best thing on the show, outside of what Roman Reigns is doing. So Mysterio was in control. We had a nice baseball slide to the floor. Ziggler took over. We had an inverted power slam by Ziggler for a 2. Rey Mysterio with a swinging DDT on Dolph Ziggler. Rey with a seated senton. Swift kick for a 2. We had a 619 missed. Dolph Ziggler countered with a very nice famouser for a close 2. We had a super kick by Ziggler, but Rey Mysterio grabbed the rope. Rey Mysterio then with a swift roll-up for the 1-2-3. Very good match for what it was. That was pretty much that. And it does look like Rey and Dominic will be winning the titles tomorrow night, which is the right decision if you're going to do the Usos versus the Mysterios for the tag team titles come SummerSlam. Bianca Belair came out. Michael Cole was interviewing her. She asked where Bayley was. Bayley came up on the screen. Bayley said, I ain't getting in the ring with you after you viciously attacked me last week. Belair said she'll be winning. And then Belair said, you're mad because you were busy getting thrown down the ramp by the Bellas while I won this in the main event. Bayley said, you know, it reminds me, what you remind me of is my own past. And this fairy tale doesn't end well. And I'm going to make sure this ends for good. They have not put any effort into a Bayley-Bianca Belair match. It's just a match that they've just thrown together, and they're just like, oh, hey, we're WWE, and they're going to watch anyway. Here's something that I want to talk about. And this is important. This is important here. This has to do with the women's division as a whole. Why is it that every single time a women's segment happens on the show, why is it that every single time a women's segment happens on the show, why is it that every single women's segment, every single women's promo sounds the fucking same? I'm listening to Bianca Belair, and Bayley too. Bayley's no exception. I'm listening to how Bianca Belair is coming off, and she's coming off generic as fuck. She's legitimately coming off as if she's reading off of a cue card. She's coming off as if she is trying to remember what she wants to say. She's coming off so unnatural. And it's not just Bianca Belair, it's sometimes Bayley too. Bayley last week was coming off a little bit unnatural. And then you got Monday Night Raw. You got Charlotte Flair, you got Asuka, you got Rhea Ripley sounding like a robot. Charlotte Flair always sounds terrible. And then you got fucking Asuka sounding like a mentally challenged idiot dancing around. And I'm thinking to myself, ever since the year started, have we had a decent women's promo? Seriously. Have we had a fucking decent women's promo? The last decent women's promo that I can remember was all the way back when Carmella was feuding with Sasha Banks. She was actually coming off natural with Sasha Banks, and Sasha Banks didn't sound forced. But I'm looking around, I'm listening, and I'm taking note of all these fucking promos for the women, and it's the women's division specifically, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, why does everyone sound the fucking same? I want you guys to think back to last week on NXT. Think back to last week on NXT and the promo, the sit-down interview promo with Mercedes Martinez and Raquel Gonzalez. What was the difference between that promo and every other promo we've seen with the women on the main roster this year? Think about that. Mercedes Martinez and Raquel Gonzalez, they came off with conviction. They came off with confidence. They came off with legitimacy. They came off with intensity. They came off natural. I'm listening to all these fucking promos, and every single promo for the women sounds the fucking same. Asuka sounds the same. Charlotte, Rhea, Sasha, Nia, Bianca, Bayley, Carmella. Every single fucking promo for the women sounds the same. Everyone sounds the same. Are they legitimately trying to sabotage the women's division? You elected to give Bianca Belair the SmackDown Women's Championship, and that was the right decision. That was the right decision. You had her win the Royal Rumble. You weren't going to have her go into WrestleMania and lose. That was the right decision. And now what the fuck are you doing? You're making her sound like everyone else. You're making her sound like a shell of her former self, like what she was in NXT. You're making her sound unnatural. How is that making the women's division look good? And the fact that fucking John Laurinaitis is back, you got fucking Eva Marie coming back, it really wouldn't surprise me if WWE's legitimately trying to sabotage the women's division. Every single women's promo since the year began on the main roster sounds the fucking same. Every single promo sounds the same. Why? Jess, holy shit. I legitimately just noticed this. Jessica Canzaro just joined the chat. She has been MIA for a long time now. I'm actually graduating college. on Monday, so it's pretty fucking crazy. We haven't talked in a while. I'm graduating college on Monday. I got an accounting internship lined up for the summer. It's pretty big shit going down. Pretty big shit going down. The chat is certainly alive. Just joined a little late, but holy shit, am I glad that she is here. I heard that you're watching Impact on Thursdays now. I hear that you're watching Impact on Thursdays now. I like that. I like that. Hope you're watching the Lightning Flash update on Saturdays too. Is Casey still watching me? I don't know if she is. Where is she? Where is she? Because I wanna see Casey and Kaden challenge for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles now. I'd like to get them in the mix. Efron Cortez Jr. just joined. Please make sure you hit that like button. I was waiting for you. Where are you? When is the next time you're going to be at my market? When is the next time you're going to be? Are you going to be at my market on Wednesday? Next Wednesday? If so, I may stop by the market just to get something. I may stop at my market just to get something because let me tell you something. I have not seen you in fucking forever. Casey better still be watching my show, I swear. Are we gonna get her? Can you send the stream to her right now? Share the stream out to her right now. I'd like to get her in the chat before we sign off, because we'll be getting off in like a few minutes anyway. See if you can get her in the chat. I'm always here. I'm always here supporting her. I love Casey. When COVID ends, they start touring. NXT starts touring again. Casey is back on the road again. Please let me know when they come up here, and I'm gonna get tickets to the show. We gotta meet at the show, and we gotta take like a group photo. I'll bring DJ Storm's wristbands for everyone. Danielle, I don't fanboy. You fangirl all the time. I don't fanboy. I ain't no fanboy. I'm a beast over here. Unbelievable. But thank you for joining. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are fantastic. You guys make this all worthwhile. You really do. And thank you for watching the rundown with Danielle. Thank you for watching that yesterday. I greatly appreciate you, Jess. You are absolutely fantastic. You are an absolute angel in every sense of the word. Thank you very much. Danielle, shut up. Danielle, I will not fanboy. Shut up. We're moving on. I still got a show to do. I still got a show to do here. Where is he? Why don't you bring him to the market? Bring him to the market at some point. My God. I'll be working next Wednesday at 3 to 7. I will be working next Wednesday at 3 to 7. Please let me know. Please let me know. I gave you my number as well. You got to give me a text. You got to shoot me a text. Unreal. So, SmackDown continued on. We had Baron Corbin. Yes, the Burger King Corbin. The Taco Bell Chalupa Corbin. The White Castle Corbin. Taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. I actually left. I legitimately did not care about this match. All I know is that Corbin won. Nakamura then dropped him afterwards, and he put the crown on. And a lot of people have been saying, oh my God, we got King of the Ring. King of the Ring's coming back. King of the Ring's going to do this. King of the Ring's going to do that. You got King of the Ring coming back. Let me tell you something. King of the Ring, I would not mind King of the Ring coming back as long as it's done right. As long as it's done right. But when was the last time King of the Ring was actually done right? I mean, just look at the last few King of the Ring winners. Baron Corbin and Wade Barrett were both given a crown, a robe, a scepter, and a shitty king gimmick. You had Wade Barrett winning the King of the Ring, and then 4 months later, he was fucking wrestling Stephen Amell at SummerSlam. I mean, Stephen Amell. Yet this man won King of the Ring. Baron Corbin, he was in a program with Chad Gable where they were calling him Shorty G. Need I say more? Why even bring back the King of the Ring tournament if you're just going to do that? Why even bring back the King of the Ring tournament if you're just going to give the winner a crown, a robe, a scepter, and a shit king gimmick? Why? If the King of the Ring winner is not going to receive a world title match, you may as well not even have the tournament at all. If the tournament's coming back, you better fucking give the winner a world title match, depending on who is associated with which brand. If you bring back King of the Ring, you give the winner a world title match. Whether they be on Raw, you give them a WWE title match. They be on Smackdown, you give them a Universal title match. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I don't want this king shit. I don't want a scepter. I don't want a robe. I don't want anything. Anything but a world title match. Okay? And I don't trust WWE to do that. I don't. Aleister Black. Aleister Black had another promo package. He talked about Chapter 3, The Lesson. And he said, I saw greatness and I chose it. I could help you. I could teach you this lesson. But I won't. You're a spectator. So I'm not really sure when Aleister Black is returning. We'll have to wait and see there. Jimmy Uso versus Cesaro. Jimmy Uso, he looked good. He looked good. Looked like he didn't miss a beat. Later on in the matchup, Cesaro was in control. He had a cannonball off the apron and a big uppercut. Roman Reigns then attacked. Uso was like, you made it all about you. And he walked away. Roman was going after him. They were arguing before Cesaro came out and he attacked Jay and Roman. Cesaro then took out Jimmy. Roman got away. Cesaro with the neutralizer to Jay. And then Cesaro looked at Roman. He said, do something. And he gave Jay another neutralizer. Again, it just seems like this Cesaro program, it's merely a bridge. It's nothing more than a bridge to get Roman into a family feud with Jimmy Uso. So at the end of the day, what's the point? I already ranted on this in the beginning, and I really don't want to go through another rant on this. I've done enough ranting. But ladies and gents, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. We had an excellent stream. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into the stream. 24 likes, big views throughout the course of the last 2.5 hours. Thank you to Danielle. Thank you to Danielle Wolf. Thank you to Proud Mixed Child, Cool King, Efron Cortez Jr., Jessica Catanzaro. Thank you to Adam Carl and Furious Nation and Earl Cole. You guys are all fantastic. Please make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, share out the stream to everyone. Please make sure you check out all the links in the description. Follow me on all platforms of social media. Check out the rundown for WrestleMania Backlash with Danielle. Danielle, I'm not dabbing. I am not dabbing. I'm not dabbing. You have seen me dab enough here on camera. I got shows to do. I got shit to do. I got graduation to prepare for. You are the dab individual. I am the ranting analytical individual, all right? You gotta chill with the dabbing, all right, princess? But please, like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. If I was signing... well, what question? What question? I'm sorry, Danielle Wolf, what question? Did you think Classic Women's title should have come back? No, I don't really care about the Classic Women's Championship. I don't really care. I just care about them making the championships that they have now feel prestigious. But thank you to everyone. You guys are fantastic. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Danielle Wolf, Proud McChild, and everyone. I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. I will catch you guys on Monday for the rewind for WrestleMania Backlash. And you guys have a safe weekend.